Whiskey and Cannoli's podcast, episode number 9 tonight. Got a good show for you today with WhiskeyBanger, Filipino meatball, eating banana chips, by the way. But hey, you got to do what you got to do on these Friday evenings. We got a good one tonight. We're going to do conspiracy theory topics tonight. And God, there's a lot of conspiracy theories, a lot of topics, a lot of ways we can go with this. This could be a 2-hour show. It could be a 4.5-hour show. It just depends on how quickly we can get through. But I think this is a good one. So how's everybody doing this week? Happy Friday, right?
Thank goodness.
Yeah, no shit. Today was a day. Today was a day. And Tim and WhiskeyBanger, no, not Whiskey. Filipino Meatball's gone.
How
He
dare
just
you?
disappeared. He just disappears. Got people in the chat. Got my boy Greg, Monkey Business. Got some more people. I don't know where he went. So
I see Frank.
okay, hold on.
I don't know.
I hate
technology. Don't even talk to me.
I'm not even going to say anything because I have no idea where you go.
Don't worry. I don't know where I go either. I have no clue.
What? I'm like, what is happening? Where is he going?
I'm trying to figure out my audio. Then all of a sudden, that leave button
so
just lights up and I hit it.
His disappearance is the first conspiracy. Where did Tim go?
Wow.
He's out there.
Just so you know, the government took me straight up. That's what it is.
It's the IRS recruiting you. No, the fucking IRS said we're not recruiting you. We're taking your ass. That's what we're doing. So you're having audio issues?
No, I'm good now. I couldn't hear you guys.
Sure. 3 minutes into the show. Now you're good.
Right. Now we're good.
Okay. I appreciate it. Okay.
By the way, hey, don't worry about it. I got an interview next week with the IRS, so don't have to.
Oh yeah.
Just look past my file. Nothing to see there. Nothing to see
Freaking
there.
IRS, freaking SRT team kicking in doors.
Look, you think I'm physically fit enough to be on the SRT? Not a chance. Zero possibility.
You're the ramrod, dude. You just plow through the door.
Plow through the door. Yeah.
Juggernaut
Yeah.
style?
They're gonna use you. Yeah. Like a fucking rolling pin. Just boom.
Daddy's home. That's how I'm gonna enter.
All right. We got many people here. We got a new
Hi, Don.
couple of new subscribers today, which was awesome. Thanks to that.
Nice.
Greg helped us out there. Hope whoever was listening in the chat, if you want to chime in with some opinions on this, we're going to start off. I'm going to go off the cuff here. I'm going to go with one of the ones that
You should go on cuff.
I'm going to go on cuff in your face.
How about a cuff link?
Why did I invite you to the show?
I can leave. Not even my choice. I'll just find that red button.
just leave the banana chips. We're gonna go with one that's not very well. It's known. It's a well-known conspiracy theory. So what we want to do is talk about banana chips conspiracy theories, and what are the theories? Our opinions on the theories. How deep does the rabbit hole go? I'm gonna start off one with. We're going to get to the good ones. We got bigger ones, the obvious ones coming. I want to start with one that WhiskeyBanger talked about because this was interesting. We're going to go with Operation Northwoods.
Oh, yeah.
So, WhiskeyBanger, since this is your choice,
us.
why don't you explain what Operation Northwoods is as a conspiracy theory?
So, Operation Northwoods was a plan that the U.S. government had as a false flag to get the U.S. involved in a war with Cuba during the Cuban Missile Crisis. So this falls right into what Filipino Meatball was talking about a little bit before we started. And so basically it was a plan for the U.S. to kill Cuban exiles who were trying to get away from the communist country, to kill U.S. civilians, and to attack naval ships that were in the Caribbean during that time, all to just get the backing of the U.S. citizens for us to invade China. Cuba. China's on the mind.
So basically, it gets everybody on the whole country backing the. Let's see, the monkey business is saying if it's proven it's a conspiracy. I think it's a good hypothesis.
Yeah, like if it's proven, it's not a conspiracy. But the point is it was a conspiracy for a long time, and it wasn't proven until several decades later that it actually was a plan. So
So
a lot of these are going to be in that kind of boat where it was things that were conspiracy theories were running around, and then it actually came out later that it was actually true.
Yeah, which is kind of funny how that worked. Now I wonder, like, looking in the future now, what they're going to say, what we consider now conspiracies, current day, are going to come out how many years later and going to go, oh yeah, this we did this.
You mean
this
like
happened.
coronavirus? Just throwing things out.
Black Vault drop monkey business. Yeah, this was an interesting one because I did a little digging on this, and it's funny how it's funny. Now here's the thing. Now obviously we know this is true, but at the time this has got to be some really, like, people coming up with this idea that this could be a conspiracy at the time really wouldn't put it. I obviously anything the government does to put us in situations where the citizens will back a war, back something that's happening, or a possible invasion. This is pretty intelligent. It's a pretty smart way to do it, though. No, just, hey, you know what? There's a threat. We're gonna go in. This is why we're going in, quotations, and then here we go. So this was a good one.
I mean, they did it when they attacked that one ship, that American ship, and then it came out later that it was a false flag, and it got us into a war.
Which one?
Which ship? Which ship?
Happened twice.
Which ship?
Wasn't it the one for Korea? I'm just thinking the one for Korea.
There's Vietnam, which Monkey Business is talking about, the Gulf.
Yeah, Gulf of Tonkin.
Yes.
Where they claimed that they were attacked by.
That was actually one of the ones WhiskeyBanger had number 2 on his list.
Yeah, that was on mine as well.
Go into Gulf of Tonkin.
Yeah, so basically, it's the same thing as like Operation Northwoods. They use a situation that happens and they make it out to be something that it's not, right? Like Gulf of Tonkin they had boats out in the freaking Gulf and they claimed that they got attacked.
Right.
And in actuality, they didn't. But again, it allows for the military to get boots on the ground. It allows for the civilians to back the U.S. And this is why I find that these certain situations are so poignant to what we're talking about, because I mean, look at some other things that have happened, like 9/11, for example. I mean, what better way to get into? What's that?
Are you saying 9/11 was an inside job?
Absolutely. Like, I mean, there's 3 different levels of conspiracy theory for 9/11, and that's just one angle right there. So
it's one.
I mean,
yeah.
If it's happened before, history repeats itself. So like, why wouldn't they use that same tactic for us to get involved
for us to do it involved it?
Now, I can't prove that, of course, but I find
no. That's why a lot of it is kind of not guessing, but more of, like you said, there's a theory. This is what we got people in the chat. We got Greg, my boy Greg, Abomination AJ dropping in. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate the support. Abomination AJ and I were chatting today. This dude might be doing some artwork for our channel.
Dang. Blowing up over here, Cannoli.
Well, yeah, he's an excellent artist. So we've been chatting a little bit today. I'm gonna get some ideas down for the podcast and for my own personal symbol and WhiskeyBanger or whatever. FilipinoMeatball, even if you want to get icons, he can draw them up, and he's really, really good. Actually, doesn't charge a lot of money. He's pretty reasonable to do it, but he is a good artist. So appreciate that, Abomination AJ. Yeah. Anyway, so I swear to God, some of these theories you guys came up with are really, really good. You're right, Tanner. It's like it's not so much what you can prove. It's just, like you said, you go down the rabbit hole, you do your own research, come up with the theory. People think conspiracy theorists, or people who believe in conspiracy theories, they used to be kind of a crazy thing, right? Where people are like, oh, you guys are nuts. You're just off the wall. You can't accept reality. And it would take a mass amount of people to pay off or hide from this. And yeah, I think more people after 2020 are starting to realize,
not really.
Maybe people aren't as crazy as we thought. Alex Jones, going into that.
Don't talk about Sandy Hook. Don't do it.
No, well, that is one I'm staying way away from, only because of what happened to Alex. But that's private matters. I've been crazy for 20 years. Monkey business. We've all been crazy for a while.
Yep.
Alex Jones is a very knowledgeable dude, and a lot of the shit that he said was going to come true is starting to come true. It has been, but yeah. Anyway.
Oh, nice cup there, WhiskeyBanger. That's a nice cup.
What you got there?
It's very nice.
Yeah, I wonder who got that for you.
I wonder
who got that for me. Some sexy Asian that I know.
What?
Some sexy Filipino guy. He's stuffing his face with the fucking candy. But hey, we won't go there. I like this. Okay, I'm gonna go into this next one. I know we're moving kind of quick, but I want to save more time for the bigger ones later. But this one was really interesting to me, and I've heard this before. So, Filipino Meatball had one here that the Titanic never sank. It was the Olympic.
100% was, home friend.
So, all right, I'll go into this a little more because a lot of people died in the Titanic, and so obviously a long time ago,
A lot of people died in the Olympic.
A lot of people died. Period. Yeah, so go into this now. Tell me about what exactly you think happened, what the Olympic is, because a lot of people probably don't know. Go ahead.
Okay, so there's 3 parts of this. The Titanic was a part of 3 ships that were being built. They were called the Olympic class of ships. The first one was called the Olympic, the second one being the Titanic. Luxury liners that were going to go across the Atlantic, make a bunch of money, right? So the first part of this is that the Olympic got into an accident with a military patroller and was found liable. So they owed a bunch of money. The owners of the ship owed a bunch of money because of the accident. So the theory goes that the owner of the Titanic, who, anyone know? JP Morgan.
Yep.
Okay, so that,
Yep.
Yeah.
He wanted to establish the Federal Reserve, and he had a lot of opponents to it. 3 of the biggest ones were on the Titanic. One was the owner, part owner of Macy's. One was really into mining, and then I don't know what the other one was. But they were the 3 main opponents to them. So the theory goes that they put everybody onto the Olympic, calling it the Titanic, with just a simple paint swap, right? Just write Titanic on the side of it. Send it on out there. It's already damaged. And then sink this mug in the middle of the ocean, collect the insurance payments off of it, right? Pay off the debt you have for the other boat, the Olympic that crashed. And then you have the Titanic out that all of a sudden the Olympic can now take over the Olympics role and then proceed on with life. And then the Federal Reserve happens. Also tied into that, the 4 main competitors to Hershey's chocolate was on the Titanic, but the owner of Hershey's last minute canceled, just like JP Morgan, last minute canceled, got off the boat crashes.
Sketch.
America.
I mean, it's very interesting. You're telling me that rich and powerful people would put other regular people's lives at risk just to save their own ass and money? Nah.
100%.
Now, there's a lot of stuff I saw online. There's a lot of debunking this. And
we don't listen to that, okay? We do not listen to any of that.
Yes, Monkey Business knows what's up. They sunk their competitor. First of all, I don't know how long this stream's going to last on YouTube. So if it gets cut down on YouTube, whoever's listening, go to Rumble. Rumble will have these streams up the next day. And there's a reason why I did that, because YouTube's a little sketchy. So if you go to Cannoli Sasquatch on Rumble, look up my channel there, and all my videos are loaded up there as well. Because YouTube's been a little weird lately. But yeah, this is a good one.
I will say there's a lot of debunking out there, right? And there's experts that debunk it, and they do a really good job of it, right? But I always come back to one thing, especially in my line of work: follow the money. And if you follow the money, there are only 2 people that benefited from this: the owner of Hershey's Chocolate and JP Morgan. And then all of a sudden, JP Morgan's value quadruples in the next 4 years. I mean,
and then it becomes.
I don't know. I don't really know anyone that's ever lost a in today's terms, multi-billion-dollar asset, and then also had to pay multi-billion-dollar insurance policies and settlements out because of the loss of that asset to all the people that sued the Titanic, and then quadrupled their net worth in the next 4 years. I've never met someone other than JP Morgan Chase or JP Morgan.
Yeah, the debunking is really nice. It's just kind of like, well, all you really hear from debunking, well, there's no actual proof of this. So there's no actual proof of that. There's no witness. It's like, well, yeah, but then you could say. So here's the thing.
There's also no witnesses for 85% of capital murders in America.
What's crazy is that
capital punishment.
Yeah, and then with the crazy, because is that they can use that argument like, oh, there's really no proof. And then when you use that saying there's no proof that it wasn't a conspiracy, you're called the crazy person. But again, like I said, after 2020, a lot of the people who used to say that, I know people who used to think conspiracy theorists were nuts, who have turned into the conspiracy theorists. People in my own family, because they're realizing, yeah, there's some foul play here. This was a good one, because it does kind of make sense. I mean,
dude, there's like 15 people that debunked it, and then there's like the common theme of, but why the money? The money doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, like Monkey Business there says it's the timeline. It just makes sense. Pasteur was one of the people that posted the Fed.
Yep,
you know what?
that was one.
What? Kind of ironic how that goes, huh? All right, so I'm going to move on to the next one, and this is one that I always found interesting. And again, it's kind of a popular theory. Most people do believe it. I'm going to go with the chemtrails theory of what chemtrails are. So the chemtrail conspiracy theorist believes that some contrails, which consist of ice crystals or water vapors condensed behind an aircraft, actually result from the chemicals or biological agents being deliberately sprayed at high altitudes for some undisclosed purpose. People think it's weather engineering. People think it's spraying some sort of like mass chemicals on the masses, and over time, as WhiskeyBanger would like to say, population control methods over time, causing disease and such, killing crops, just causing erroneous things to happen to the weather. So basically, it involves the so-called. A lot of people believe that it has something to do with the New World Order. It's being directed by shadowy forces within the government, and the existence of chemtrails has been repeatedly denied, of course, by government agencies and scientists, of course, because you can never pay off a government official or a scientist to tell the truth, right? So, what do you think about this? Now, chemtrails are a weird phenomenon. I have people in my family who worked. I'm not going to name names. Who used to work with airlines doing specific things, and to this day will take it to his grave that he believes that there's some mischievous shit going on with chemtrails. So what do you guys make of this? Like, do you believe in this? Do you believe it's some kind of weather engineering, or is it something that they're doing for population control, density? What exactly do you believe here?
I believe that it's interesting because it's easily explained away, and that makes me even more suspect, right?
Because it's too easily pushed to the side.
It's too easily just pushed aside. So, yeah, okay, atmospheric pressure and water and causes ice crystals to form, but it's like, okay, that's interesting. But then some days you see them, some days you don't, right? Like there's some days you'll see like 50 in the air, and other days you don't see them at all. That's if you're actually, looking and trying to notice. Yeah. And most people don't. Like most people don't even look up at the sky. They're too busy driving to work
or putting their heads in their phones.
Yeah. So for me, it's a very anytime something is so just easily explained away by
it's a little weird.
The powers that be, it makes me kind of perk up a little bit and like pay attention a little more. I find it interesting. Like there's like one of the conspiracies that I put into your that I sent you in the email. It actually ties into the chemtrails, and that's Operation Water the Country.
Yeah, I was going to go there. Go ahead.
Yeah, so basically this is like, so Operation Water the Country is basically ties directly into chemtrails. And what they do, it's kind of out there a little bit, but I found it kind of interesting.
Go with it. Go with it. Go with it.
So basically the chemtrails are the government trying to kill off all the birds, and birds are actually not birds anymore. They are government drones that are spying on.
I'm 100% into this now. There's no such thing as a real pigeon.
I just perked up.
Gone, not real things. Pigeons aren't real. They're government microphones and cameras. Have you ever seen a baby pigeon? No, you haven't.
No.
Look at Monkey Business bringing the fire here. Silver dioxide to reflect the sun but cause heavy metal poisoning. Look up John Brennan and chemtrails. I actually have heard of John Brennan. I haven't watched much or looked up, but I know who he is. This is probably one of the more popular ones that people really push one of the most.
I have I have insider information on this one.
Ooh, what do you got?
So,
What
You guys
airline
remember-
pilot did you blow?
no. Remember where I live, right?
Yeah.
And who lives right across the courtyard from me.
Ah, okay. I know where you're going with this.
So I live right near an Air Force base, and my neighborhood's full of pilots. One of my really good friends who lives right across the courtyard from me is not only an F-16 pilot, but he also went to and graduated test pilot school. So, like, if there's anything to know about flying, he's the one to know about it. And we've asked him about this, and he said, "You're a really shitty pilot if you burn off chemtrails while flying a fighter plane." He goes, "That'll get you killed in combat immediately, right? And you'll get in trouble a lot with that." With the same token of that, they know how not to do that, right?
Sure.
It's common knowledge. So the idea that Boeing 757 or whatever, right? 787 doesn't know the same properties of not being able to create that is illogical. His thing is he 1000% believes that's real. If chemtrails are real, there's something with it. He doesn't know what it is, but he's like, with how many hours that he has, and he's like, it's impossible to not think that you know how to create them and how to get out of them. So these ideas of these long stretches in the sky, that actually drags you, makes you go slower. Slow. Right. Why would you have them? I fully believe they're real, and they're killing. And now I'm fully on board with they're killing pigeons.
Yeah, that is a good one. I always used to be on the fence about this one, but now at least you don't live across the street from the ice Nazi. Well, we got an ice story coming later.
We have an update.
Yeah, I do. Never get. Not that I didn't believe in this one. When I was younger, I used to think, it's just a plane doing whatever, And then you do a little more research, a little more digging, and it's like, there's some weird shit happening here. I do believe that, yes, they exist. I don't think it's for the reasons that the pilots will say. Well, it's kind of like what Tanner said, WhiskeyBanger says about how scientists will play it off with this easy explanation. It's like, it's a little too convenient. I don't know. It's just kind of funny that the existence of chemtrails is a little more proficient today with the so-called existence of global warming, this trend. They kind of correlate with each other. They picked up around the same time. You see more of this shit happening now. So would it be surprised me if the government has a weather manipulation kind of thing going on to push an agenda? Of course, I believe it, because why not? So yeah, that's the chemtrail debate, and not debate, but conspiracy theory, and I do believe that one. Moving along, because we got a lot here. All right, here's one. WhiskeyBanger chose Project Sunshine.
Oh, yeah. So this is another one of those.
Is this teaching someone how to do the pitch on the veer?
No.
We're going to get to that monkey business.
It's so like Monkey Business was talking about, is it a conspiracy if it actually happened? This is another one of those where, so basically Project Sunshine there was a conspiracy that, again, the U.S. government, of course, was using dead bodies of U.S. citizens, to test radiation fallout while they were doing nuclear testing before World War II. And people couldn't prove it. It was a lot of hearsay and speculation, but it actually happened. And to do it even one worse, it wasn't just U.S., like the bodies of U.S. citizens. It was the dead bodies of children and infants that they were using.
Jesus.
So they were getting bodies from hospitals, orphanages. If they had a small child that died, the government got them, used those dead bodies to test for fallout radiation poisoning, to see what it would, like the effects it would have on just the body itself, like the exposed skin and whatnot. And the reason why I keep bringing these ones up, we kind of talked about this the other day. I don't trust the government at all. I worked for the government, and they are a bunch of shady assholes. And a lot of these that I brought up are things like this, where they're testing things on the U.S. population. They're pulling the rug out from under the U.S. population. Yeah, exactly. What monkey business.
Yes.
History. It's shady as hell. And the reason why I like bringing these up and like talking about these things, yeah, a lot of these conspiracies and like crazy things that the government's done it's interesting just in general to talk about.
Of course.
But
Area 51. Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that too.
I like to let people know, like, hey, when the government says to go get a jab, maybe do a little research before you do it, right? Like,
yeah,
hey, we didn't do this. Hey, look over there. Look what's going on over there. Hey, Biden just did this, or whoever. It doesn't even have to be Biden. Just
anybody.
Anytime
anybody.
Media or the government is telling you, look here, do an about face and look behind you, because
do
something shady is going on behind you.
100%. That's the problem. They know they're sheep that won't listen and just going to abide by the run. He's right. Yeah, we've been talking a lot about this in the last 2 years with what's going on. And again, I think it's just comfortable to sit in your little bubble and not expect, well, the government wouldn't do this. But again, really? I mean, look what's happening now. This administration.
Have you ever read a history book? The government will and probably has already done that.
Yeah. And then with the level of power they have now, more than ever, not with our forefathers intended. No, not at all. But it is scary. That is a good one, though. I didn't know too much about that, and then I read it, and it scared the shit out of me. Operation Sunshine. I was like, wow. That's a good one, though. So, scary shit, man. I'm going to go with one from the Filipino Asian Meatball. Okay. I like this one because I heard this one a few years ago, and I thought, you're all crazy. Like, absolutely crazy. And then I went down the rabbit hole on the internet.
Oh, yes.
Good and bad. This really is interesting because a lot of people believe this. So it's basically the theory that Mattress Firm is a money laundering organization for the government CIA. And then the reason why this is true is because if you look at pull up mattress firms in your area, how close they are to each other in proximity, and like the specific locations that they're put in. And there's so many of them. I've been to mattress firms. I'm going to tell you right now, I have never met a person who's actually been to a mattress firm to buy a mattress. Yet they're on every corner, on every block, within like a few miles from each other. It's like, how you see a Starbucks within a supermarket and directly across the street another one. This is how Mattress Firm is. Who the fuck is buying all these mattresses? So you go ahead with this one, Filipino, because I really like this one too. This is I actually believe this. I believe this.
So I work in the finance world, and again, follow the money, right? There are I don't have the numbers in front of me. If you could look it up for me, Cannoli. How many mattress firms there are in the U.S.?
I'm going to look it up now.
Insane. And then the employees of mattress firm, right? Thousands of employees, right? Yet they don't crack the Forbes 500. How does that make sense?
Yeah, this is from a number of mattress firms locations in the U.S. So I'm bringing it up. I don't think this number is right, though. 2,392 locations in 50 states and territories and 1,361 cities.
Right. That's the right number. That's the right number. You have 2,300 locations, yet you can't crack the Forward 500. That makes no sense.
That is weird.
The last 4 CEOs of Mattress Firm, the organization, ended up in government. You cannot, as a person of finance, you could not tell me Mattress Firm is above ship and 1, making money, 2, is not laundering for someone. It might be the cartel for all we know, but someone. But to me, it makes total sense. If you were going to have a CIA domestic, the CIA doing domestic stuff, right? You got to hide it in a business that you can wash money in, right? You got to hide it in something that no one goes in there, right? Like, you can't hide it in Starbucks. Everybody goes inside a Starbucks.
Everybody
right?
goes into a Starbucks.
Nobody goes into a mattress firm. Nobody.
I've never seen a person in those stores. Ever.
Right. I watched a video on YouTube once where a guy looked up all the mattress firms within like 300 miles of him, right? And then Google mapped them just to see what the building looks like. He counted less cars than buildings.
Jesus.
And so I was like, no one works there. I don't care what you say. Find someone that works at mattress firm, really works at mattress firm, and tell me how they make money.
So in 2016, the Steinhoff International, a South African company, purchased Mattress Firm. And at that time, Mattress Firm operated 3,600 stores. So it looks like in 2017, Steinhoff revealed that there was accounting irregularities. Okay. At one point, there was 5 mattress firms within 2 miles of each other. Like, how many people are within that area are going, I'm not going to go to this one.
Safe houses.
I'm not going to go to this mattress firm. I'm going to go to the one down the street. Yeah. I mean, there's some interesting, a lot of bribery, kickback, fraud. Here we go. There's a lot of inquiries on this one. Sure. Yeah, this is a deep rabbit hole. Like, if you have the time to look this up, go on Google and look up the mattress firm conspiracy theory, because there's a lot of information. Of course, they're saying it's false. Duh.
Well, of course
it is.
Yeah, this is one of the people who work for mattress firms says, we recognize that having stores in close proximity may seem unusual, and it is true that sometimes it doesn't make financial sense at first glance. The explanation of money laundering has somehow been developed and amusing. Okay, here are the facts. Let's see. They set a goal to become the first border-to-border, coast-to-coast specialty Okay, I don't give a shit. So basically, so they wanted to achieve a status of being the fastest firm store to grow. So they just put up fucking stores in every proximity they could. That means, I mean, yeah, I understand that's how you grow a company fast. You're not really
profiting. It's still around, right? Yet they're still around. That's how you drive a company to the ground.
I mean, Starbucks had how many places did Starbucks shut down over the years because there was just too many within. I don't buy that. That was a good one. So again,
I also want to say the whole conspiracy started because a mattress firm truck, like a warehouse truck, had tipped over in the late 90s and crashed, right? Rolls the truck or whatever. And there was straight undocumented cash hidden in the mattresses. Right? And then so here comes the FBI to come scoop it all up. And it got tagged in with the Secret Service of like fraudulent money, and they blamed it on some cartel and some local gang doing fraudulent money. But I'm like, interesting that it's a mattress firm truck just hauling some freaking cash around.
Some stuff. Yeah, that one's a good one. You can go really deep into that one. It is very fishy. I think I had a mattress firm near my house, and then another one like a couple of miles away. And it's like, why though? I don't know. Like I said,
mattresses last for 7 to 10 years. What?
I was going to say, who's buying all these mattresses? What is happening here?
WhiskeyBanger, are you banging out your mattress? Is that what's happening? Dude, 2 kids too quick? You need mattresses?
He does have another kid on the way. So.
I just looked up the mattress firms around me. There's 10. In less than 10 minutes of a drive.
I think I have like 10. I have like 7 of them. Like, how many? Like, if you go to one, what do you do? Oh, you know what? The hell with this one. I'm gonna go to the one next door. Oh, nah, today. I feel like going to the one a mile up the road. It's all the same.
Crazy.
So next time, hey,
we should go into one.
Banger. Yeah, let's go into one and go. So where's the stuff? Start winking?
Just the facts. I got some questions.
Where's the good stuff?
This is a IRS agent, Filipino meatball.
No, when I become a part of the IRS, I'm gonna go in and start flashing my badge, start getting some answers.
Yeah, listen, man, I want to know what's in the back room. It's like the Prohibition days with the Untouchables, hiding shit in the post office, and then it's like, wait, what are you talking about? I can see it happening. We're gonna keep some of that money, by the way, but you didn't hear that here.
I don't know what you're talking about. Go ahead and back that Forerunner up.
Yeah,
Come
take
on,
that match.
you open that
I
door.
want the California King match or Queen match, whatever, with that's full and lumpy. I want that one in my house. All right. I want that. So here's one that
Why is
Go ahead,
that
sorry.
mattress $200 and the other one right next
Yeah,
to it
see,
10 grand? What the
monkey business is right. Let's all visit match and just start laying around shit. Like, this feels extra lumpy. Do you have any more in the back? What's in the back? No, here's an idea. Look where our mattress firms located next to moving companies or like U-Hauls or storage unit places. That's interesting too. That was one theory I heard.
Yeah.
Because if they're close by, they're easy to move shit around and you could store them and then move them again. So let's do some digging on that one in the future. Okay, here's one that I found that was always interesting to me. And this is, again, another, you could say a wild theory because it affects a lot of people, millions of people. This one is the AIDS virus was created in a laboratory. So the idea was based on the theories of Dr. William Campbell Douglas. Many people believe that HIV was genetically engineered in 1974 by the World Health Organization.
Who?
The WHO. Who? Anyway, he believed that it was a cold-blooded attempt to create a killer virus that would, and here's Whiskey Banger's favorite, was then used in a successful experiment in Africa. Duh. Others have claimed that it was created by the CIA or the KGB as a means to reduce population of the world population. I mean, this is a pretty effective one because this thing obviously killed a bunch of people. It's affecting still a lot of people. Here's the funny thing I think about this. They have come a long way they don't have a cure yet, but they have medicine that's basically knocks it down to a level that's almost non-existent enough to keep people alive, live normal lives. So here's the thing. Is this actually something for population control? Was it an experiment that they, like this guy said, Campbell Douglas said, put it in Africa, kill everybody there, basically, and just kind of control that area? Or is this just something that was created? Was it an accident? And they figured we can make a shit ton of money off this once we kind of find a medicine that controls it, which medicine's not cheap. It's in the thousands of dollars a month if you don't have insurance.
Who doesn't have insurance? We got Obamacare, my friend.
Obama.
No, I said insurance, not fucking those fucking check cashing place, fucking bullshit thing. That's with Obamacare. But no, honestly, like, what do you think about this, guys? Do you think is it a money making thing, or did it start off as one thing and kind of manifest into something else?
Whiskey Banger, you go first because I have an alternate theory.
I think it's all big pharma.
So you just think it from the beginning?
So, I mean, and not even just AIDS. In any of these weird COVID, AIDS,
bird flu,
swine flu. I think it's all just
meatball flu.
Genetically modify this freaking, it's a fucking virus. They can replicate it in labs. So, like, who's to stop someone from just doing it anyway, putting it out there, and then now you got a bunch of people who are sick, a bunch of people who are afraid to get sick, and they're dumping their pockets out, being like, yo, give me the jab, or yo, give me the freaking medication, whatever. Multi-billion-dollar freaking industry.
Well, I will say from people I know that have it, unfortunately, the good news is that had like, but yeah. Well, whatever. The virus before AIDS.
You've met me.
HIV. I think you've got more than HIV. You got a lot of shit. No, but like people who have it or before the HIV, it's like from everything I've learned, it's the medicine is. I mean, yes, if you have insurance, yes, it's covered, but still, these companies are making, I mean, thousands of dollars. But it's funny how they can come up with stuff to almost get rid of it. And so if he's saying since 1974, it really was prominent in the 80s, right? It just went crazy, all over the world, obviously. So they've had a long time. And I'm not saying they should have a cure necessarily, but there's a whole other conspiracy theory. They do have cures for major diseases and just don't want to put them out because big pharma hospitals would come crashing down. For me personally, I think they have cures for certain cancers they just won't give to us because chemo, the therapies, I was in the hospital when I was sick. I saw a lot of people in there who unfortunately had cancer. One guy actually, I think, passed away in the hospital, which is fucking horrible. and then you have the Mayo Clinic now coming up with these neutron fucking things that zap it almost to the point where it's almost gone, but not enough, and you got to do treatments. I think Whiskey Banger's onto something here. I'll get to you too, Meatball, because I do want to hear your alternate theory, but I do think it's all about big pharma. The whole market would crash. Think about hospitals if we didn't have HIV, AIDS, or cancer. Really, it's over for them. Like their whole business crumbles, and we're talking about billions and it's the same thing in the legal field. Where I'm in the legal field, Meatball, you could attest to this. Without people getting divorced and putting out these injunctions against each other, families breaking apart, childcare, anything. Lawsuits, garnishments, the whole legal business, the court system crumbles.
Billions of dollar business right there.
I mean, the court, Maricopa Court here in Phoenix, one of the biggest counties in the country, the amount of money they make in one day is astronomically stupid. Hey, you want to file a complaint? $333. And that's just one case. So you figure big law firms are doing that in the thousands. Court, it's insane. It's insane. I'm going off track here. So I want to hear Meatball's alternative theory on this because I got a little fucking. I started thinking of work today again. I started getting fucking, as Whiskey would say, assed up.
Assed the fuck up.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So the alternate theory that I heard, and I've kind of held on to this one for a while, is AIDS is man-made as a political weapon during the Cold War to try to get military leaders in Eastern Europe sick to diminish that Eastern Europe's power.
So that would be a KGB thing, right? Because the KGB's European, Russia.
Right.
And all
so
that.
American spies trying to infiltrate the KGB or whatever tried to bring down, the power by getting rid of all the real loyalists with, right? Like affecting a few prostitutes and whatnot. And then in the conspiracy, they went to test it in Africa, right?
Right.
And it just exploded. And then they couldn't
contain it.
Yeah, they couldn't contain it to make it below the radar, so they just had to let it go. And now we're at the point of like where it got let go to the point of where it was an epidemic.
It's pretty crazy to think that it was created for one thing and then it expanded, and here we are with something that costing people so much money, it's sad. But I would the government do it? Sure. Is it something that was created for one purpose and became another? Of course. So, God, I swear this is some interesting shit. That was a good one. I don't know why I thought of that. Here's one that I have to
hear than AIDS.
Only on the weekends, Timmy. It's a holiday weekend, so Daddy's going to be extra gay this weekend.
Daddy's
just
got weekend.
Just wait till I see you Sunday. We'll see how freaking gay I get. There's going to be water and food and alcohol involved. Daddy might be getting very gay, especially with the next day off. I mean, happy gay. What the fuck are you guys talking about?
Tanner has 4 days off.
Nice. Look at this guy. Dude. I know. So does my wife. Huskers lose. Yeah. Well,
they're playing North Dakota.
Yeah,
it's not too bad.
Hey, listen, I thought
what? Not North Dakota State, right?
No, thank God. They would destroy us.
I thought my team was going to lose last night. They pulled one out of their ass. But
bro, the Gus Johnson call at the end.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, I'm glad they came back. They showed a lot of heart. I don't like the way their defense looked at all, but whatever. I got to give it to Clifford. Guy's a freaking one knee, and he's out there hobbling and bringing the team back. Here's one that we have always thought was very fucking shady, very interesting, and we're gonna go into this one. This is the Las Vegas shooting. So I think most people know what this is. This was one on Whiskey Banger's list, and this one, from the minute it happened to the people being silenced and no information coming out, even the mainstream media at some point was like, "What the hell is going on here?" So let's go into detail here, Whiskey. What exactly is the conspiracy here?
Tell me, Daddy.
So this was during a concert, in Vegas, right? Country music concert?
Yes. So it was a country music concert going on in Vegas. The conspiracy, well, I mean, there's multiple conspiracies that fall into this. So, I mean, for those people that don't know, country music festival in Vegas, multiple. It was like in the middle of multiple. Like what was that? The like El Mirage and the whatever the other one is, big hotel, casino, whatever. One of the conspiracies is that it's a false flag in order to push Second Amendment /white /conservative people to go against Second Amendment
stuff.
bills, basically gun control, because you got a bunch of people who, let's be real, most people that listen to country tend to be a little more conservative, very large Caucasian population.
Caucasian.
Most of the people, most of the people like in the videos that you saw and in the interviews and whatnot afterwards were white people. Okay.
I just want to throw this out there. The one person in this group that listens to country music is the least amount of white.
You're the Asian person who listens to, like, how is that? How did that happen?
My dad's a honky. That's how it happened.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah. So it's basically a gun. It's a gun push. It's a gun push. It's a anti-gun push.
It's an anti-gun push, but it was specifically targeted for people who are traditionally not anti-gun.
You also got to think about what state it was in, right? That's a very loose gun state.
Nevada.
Yeah. Yep. So it's like it's a situation where you got these people who, for the most part, are pro 2A, and then all of a sudden there's a shootout. People are dying, mass hysteria,
mass crowds,
and then the people. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, in the amount of weaponry he brought into the room alone, nobody noticed. Supposedly, windows getting shot out.
Supposedly,
there was a lot of people saying there were multiple areas where the guns were coming from. A helicopter. It was fucking insane, right? People were saying there were helicopters in the air shooting from different directions, and I don't know what's what. There was a lot of law enforcement on the ground with their radios saying there were multiple shooters. Now, the multiple shooter theory is always a theory that pops up when there's a mass shooting, right? Whether or not it's true, I don't know. I wasn't there. There was no motive. Like, people could say, well, people are just crazy. I think, yeah, but people do go crazy. I understand that. A lot of cameras. Yeah, thank you, Monkey Business. Exactly. Like, there's cameras in every hotel outside of especially, what year was it? What year was this happened? I forget.
2016?
2016. So you got technologies available. There's cameras. Everybody has phone cameras.
Election year. Get out of here.
Yeah. So yeah, right. Exactly. This one, to this day, you will never convince me that it was just some lunatic. I remember
it was 2017.
2017. Here's another funny part. Wasn't there like a security guard that went on to the Ellen show instead of going on any other major network? She goes to Ellen. And I remember seeing that Ellen what was the hotel it was outside of? Was it Mandalay Bay?
Yes.
Yeah, it was Mandalay
Bay. I remember hearing, and now, I don't know if this is true, and I should have did some research, but the production company that she worked for that ran her show was also owned by Mandalay Bay. So you control the narrative a little bit. If I remember correctly. Yeah, of course, the cameras were never fucking working during these periods. You will never convince me to this day, to the day I die, that there was not an ulterior motive there. How do you not notice the staff was like, well, people bring bags all the time. How many fucking bags of stuff did he bring in? He shot out a window that was almost impossible to break. Shooting from multiple positions in the room in quick succession. Then this is where the bump stock thing came in, right? Whiskey, This was where anti-bump stock. This is why we gotta get rid of these things. Blah 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 blah. High capacity. Blah blah blah.
Assault weapons.
Yeah. If somebody wants to look up who owns the Mandalay Bay and how it tied into the Ellen show, I swear to God, I remember somebody saying that, and that's how he got on that show. And then he was never heard from again. The guy was never heard from again.
Car really accident. Weird. He got Clinton.
No, he's alive, but he was just told to shut up. Apparently, he got paid off basically.
The owner of Mandalay Bay is the Blackstone Group.
So the Blackstone Group.
That doesn't sound ominous at all.
So the Blackstone Group. So I want to know what the Blackstone Group has to do with the Ellen DeGeneres show. There's some tie in there somewhere.
They probably work with the Blue Man Group.
Stupid.
Blue Balls Group? What do you mean? The Blue Man Group?
Oh, I'm a part of that group.
The Blue Balls Group? Yeah, we all are, buddy. We've all been there once in our lives. So I don't know. Anyway, what do you think, Meatball? I don't know what do you think about this? This is the fucking most. This is one of the weirdest ones ever.
I when this first happened, I dove way too deep into this
We
because
all
I
did. I remember.
got because I worked. Remember, this is when we were all working together, and I was
Yes.
taking phone calls about people asking or yelling at us about this. So I was like,
I
okay,
remember.
let me look into this, right? I don't buy the theory of a lone gunman. I sure was he a part of it? Maybe, but I don't buy the theory of a lone gunman. There was they were saying that he had an AR-10, several AR-10s. And I'm like, from that distance, hitting somebody with an AR-10 would be vastly larger wound cavities than there would be from an AR-15. The idea that there was a conspiracy that someone was across the street with an AR-10 shooting people, that's more realistic. Of the wound holes that they were saying came from AR-10s, that's more realistic. There are also videos of like looks like
Muzzle
flashes
flashes.
coming, from other buildings, other parts of the hotel and stuff like that. To me, I like the angle that WhiskeyBanger's taking on this. That it's in Nevada, it's at a country music festival with a bunch of Caucasians, with a Caucasian dude that was a loner, right? That brought all that stuff up there. But at the same time, I also point to the absolutely shameful, like, what security? What security at the hotel, right? What FBI surveillance? What police response to it? I remember seeing video like the camera footage of the dudes that were like drunk on the ground, just standing up, like giving the dude the middle finger because he's like, I don't really care anymore, and you just hear shots going on in the background, nowhere near him. It's like I don't even know.
There was also like a weird some Islamic State terrorist group took credit
Took
for
credit
it.
for it, yeah.
If I remember, wasn't there like a diplomat official from like Saudi Arabia or something visiting at the exact same day as well? Saudi Arabian prince was involved. There you go. There was a lot of weird shit going on. Supposedly people think the CIA did this as a distraction to try to assassinate this person.
Right.
There was a lot of stuff going on, man. Like, and it just doesn't, and this guy wasn't like, I don't remember. He wasn't military or law enforcement, right? He wasn't an expert in weaponry. He just went into a store, of course, and bought 6 million guns and a bunch of ammo. And
the biggest one for me was like the FBI immediately pointed to this one gun shop, right? And like, this is where he bought all of his guns. It's where he bought all of his ammo. This is the receipt for it, and blah blah blah. And they like try to shut this gun store down. And then the owner of the gun stores are like, "What are you talking about? I don't even have an account with that ammo manufacturer."
Yeah.
Oh, and then
That's what I mean.
changed that he went to Arizona and got it from Arizona and brought it back because he went to Tombstone. And I'm like, you got to have a story straight before you can start putting stuff out here, FBI. Bunch of freaking. Do you know what the FBI is? Do you know what the FBI is? Wannabe IRS agents.
Well, what is the theory Whiskey has about alphabet agencies in general? They're just all trash, basically. And for the most part, they don't serve a purpose or any good for the.
They do not.
He tried out for the ATF one time. And they told him to go home. So now he hates everybody.
What the hell were you just drinking?
Me?
Meatball. Yeah, what are you drinking?
Powerade Zero Sugar Orange.
Oh, okay. I thought that. What's that shit that people drink when they're sick? The
Pedialyte?
Yeah, I thought it looked like Pedialyte for a second.
I'm still recovering from last night. I played softball last night, so.
In 110-degree weather.
Right? Like, god damn.
How much pickle juice did you drink?
No, okay, so yesterday
is that what they call cum these days?
Okay. You know what? We are gonna get into this. We are gonna get into this later because it involves the ice Nazi.
Okay, the ice Nazi story is coming. We got ice.
That's
story,
good.
Ice Nazi's a staple. All right, so that was Vegas shooting. Who was that? That was yours, WhiskeyBanger. Okay. Yeah. I like this one. My wife will like this one because she's into this crime shit. This was a theory that I've heard, and this goes way back, people. So stick with us. There's a rumor that this is going to go into the Jack the Ripper. This is a Filipino Meatball one, and Jack the Ripper obviously was a famous serial killer back. I don't even know what year was this. And I was in London, but do we know the year?
Oh, 17. Hold on.
Jesus Christ.
On August and November of 1888.
Okay. So there was a lot of theories that there wasn't just one person. There was multiple people. He wasn't working alone. Okay, then Filipino Meatball here thinks that H.H. Holmes was Jack the Ripper. So let's go into this theory. Was he alone? Who's H.H. Holmes? What the fuck is going on here? Let's go into this.
Okay, so H.H. Holmes is one of the most infamous American serial killers. Based out of Chicago, he had a huge house that they called the Murder Castle. What he would do, basically right around the World's Fair, he would lure people to stay there, kill them. But I'm talking in the weirdest ways ever, like dissect bodies, make them chase them down hallways that didn't have endings, so they'd like panic themselves to death. Put them in rooms with no way to get out, like there's no doors, no windows, or whatever, and slowly suffocate them. He went through some stuff, and I'm like, they're talking like in the 200s, the mid 200s of people that he's responsible for the death of.
Okay.
It's not a matter of if H.H. Holmes existed and if he was caught. He was caught and hung, right?
Yeah.
The big thing behind him was financial crimes. He did a lot of insurance scams and financial crimes, and then he killed a bunch of people, right? The big thing about H.H. Holmes was he was a dropout or got kicked out of the University of Michigan's medical school, right? So he had medical training. He adopted the name H.H. Holmes as a medical doctor, and that's how he lured people in Chicago at the World's Fair. He was absolutely meticulous with notes. Ridiculously meticulous. So when they finally caught him, they had everything they needed, right? Because he could take notes of everything. There is a gap in his notes from May of 1888 till January of 1891. There's two conspiracy theories that come across to this. He was in London doing the Jack the Ripper stuff, right? So if he was Jack the Ripper, there's two different theories on it. One, he was testing and perfecting his craft so that he could come back to the U.S. and do it starting in 1891. The second one was that he was a very frequent traveler back and forth between New York or the U.S. and London.
I didn't know that.
And one of the Ripper victims was pregnant with or had been sleeping with like the prince, and they had hired him to make this whole big scandal happen and then get him out of the country. Right?
Oh, wow.
And what they tie it to is that on a logbook for a ship right when the Ripper murders end, going back to New York, there's H. Holmes in the exact lettering that H.H. Holmes wrote his notes in. On top of that, if you look at the Ripper letters have a lot of American verbiage in there. And it looks as if they compared it to some notations that were taken by Holmes at the University of Michigan, because when he was at the University of Michigan, he claimed to be ambidextrous, and so he could write lefty and righty, and they kind of like disprove
that would throw people
off. But his left handwriting is really similar to the Ripper letters. So that's where that whole thing comes from. I'm fully on board with it because all you had to do was give me a couple of crumbs to get there, and I am fully there on it. I believe it's 100% real. I think they hired him. I think he's a stone cold hired killer and got dropped off in America, and they just watched him just rip up Chicago.
Basically rip up Chicago. So yeah, what do you make of the theory though that so obviously you don't believe that there were multiple people committing the murders and just
no, like I'm all in on H.H. Holmes because my theory is one, America's better than everyone, so we got to be better serial killers than everyone too.
Well, of course, right? Duh.
But I don't think that there's multiple killers because how many killers do you know are in the same area at the same time? With medical knowledge and the same tools. That was the part that gets me. It's the same tool for all the murders. Okay. Like if it was one tool this time, and we think it's all the same because of eyewitnesses, that's one thing. But like it's the same tools every single time with each person.
So when did Meatball become fucking CSI Asia? Because holy shit,
I
that was some detail right there. The wifey loved that one because she's into all this crime shit.
So Jamie, there is, I think it's on Hulu now. There's a History Discovered. It's not a history one. It's a History Discovered. It's like a 3-part, 6-hour series on this conspiracy itself.
One specific thing.
And it like, at the end of it, you're like, it's real. It's fucking real. And then at the very end, they're like, this is all a conspiracy. We can't prove any of this, but this is how you follow the path. And I'm like, I don't care. Stop. Don't watch the last 5 minutes, and you'll be fine. You'll be 100% convinced.
We understand this is real. Yeah, listen, I'll take your word for it. I'll buy it. I've always had multiple theories about this, and yours is the most interesting one. I kind of buy it after you explained it so well. Yeah, I kind of buy it because it does make sense. Correlation between the time and the tools, and like you said,
This was my one that I was so proud to tell everyone about. This is when I was hyping up.
This was my baby. He doesn't get a lot of these moments, people, so let him have it.
No, I do not get these moments.
That was a great one.
Yeah, I've never heard anything about that.
I mean, I always heard varying theories, but not to that extent. So you actually contributed something to the show for once. That's awesome, man. Thanks, buddy. Daddy. I'm going to go into a heavy one here because this is current. This is one that we all believe in. I'm going to say global warming is all bullshit.
Thank you.
So, is climate changing? Can climate change over time? Sure. Now, I don't want. Listen, people are gonna come at me eventually. Oh, the scientists, they're saying this. It's 100 degrees and other. Okay, that could be cyclical. That could be a lot of things. So, a lot of people believe that the global warming is designed to soften up the world's population to higher taxes. Funny how that works. Is that's happening. Control on lifestyles and more authoritarian. Jesus, somebody help me out with this word. Authoritarian government. I said it. I got it out. Thank you. Big boy words. Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Let's go through the math here. So we have a new administration, and I'm not. Listen, this is not just picking on Biden. The guy's a fucking imbecile. Did everybody see his video last night? By the way, with the fucking
bro. What happened? Who okayed that background?
It is no, that was all him. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing.
Who okayed that?
I'm just saying they showed comparisons of that and someone that was in Germany a long time ago making speeches. I'm not going to name names, but I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube. But just saying. No, anyway. So let's figure this out. They've been trying to push this since Al Gore was around.
Miguel Gorbachev. No,
the ozone. He's dead. The ozone layer.
He's not even German.
The ozone layer, dude. I'm going to tell you right now, my Monkey Business V for Vendetta has become my new favorite movie recently.
Great movie
because it's a documentary of what's happening now. Authoritarian government, controlling the media, people in power controlling the net, arresting people for having free speech. I used to think the movie was okay. Now it's one of my favorite movies because it's actually coming true. So. You got this Al Gore, right? The ozone layer was going to evaporate. When we were in high
school, they said there was a hole in the ozone layer, right?
And it repaired itself magically.
And then scientists now say there was never a hole in the ozone layer.
There was never a hole, or
never. We would have all died. We would all immediately die. That never happened.
That was the first push by a man who flies private jets for a living and supposedly destroys the environment he's protecting. Now you have this current administration pushing.
Just because he can't get hanging chads counted down in fucking Florida.
Florida's fucking weird. Count your votes. Yeah, so now you have this new administration with this green, whatever they call it, the Inflation Act, but it's really a Green Deal. This is what Biden's been trying to pass forever. The Green New Deal. So taxes are, so California is doing this thing too, where you can't have electric cars past 2035. But did you hear the good news? They're having brownouts and issues with their power. So those electric cars that you won't, please don't go ahead and power them as more than you need to. How the fuck am I going to get around then when you're forcing me to buy a $70,000 car that I can't plug into my wall because you have 50 million people? You fucking assholes. Anyway, God, state drives me nuts. And it's like, yeah, so all of our taxes are going to be going up, right? In the next don't think it goes into effect for 2 more years. I think the technically middle class is going to get squeezed out as usual. So it's all
from
bullshit.
trying to get to the government so I could be upper class. Get out of here, guys.
Yeah, you're not going to ever be up because you're small and Asian. But like, it drives me fucking crazy because I do believe it. It does soften up the population. Now, this is not really necessarily a conspiracy theory. It's just more of what's happening. Look at what's going on right now. Take the blinders off. Whether or not you voted for a certain person or not, look at what's happening. Taxes, gas prices skyrocketed. I don't want to hear about gas prices are going down because they're still way too expensive. They never should have went up in the first place. I hear people like, oh, it's $3.83 here and $3.50 here. It's great. No, it's not great. It's still way too high. And then this bullshit about, you hear Kamala Harris talking about, oh, you know, if our children can just take the magical green buses to school, everything will be okay. It's like, okay, who's paying for this? What is you're powering these things with lithium, which destroy the fucking environment. They want to build windmills everywhere and destroy the environment and killing fucking chopping birds' fucking heads off in the middle of the fucking desert. It's like, what? Where does it end?
Are you about to go Don Quixote on a fucking windmill?
I'm losing my mind because people buy this blindly. And it just drives me crazy. It's like WhiskeyBanger saying, when the government's telling you to do something, look back and fucking do some research. You can have an opinion. I don't give a shit about that. But when you're saying, oh, you're ruining the country's going to end in 10 years. I've been hearing this shit for the last fucking 30 years of my life. My parents have been hearing this for 70 years. We're all fucking here. We're still here. Nothing bad's going to happen in 1,000 years. Climate changes, period. The earth is getting older. It's going to fucking implode one day. I'll be long gone. Our kids will be long gone. But it's going to happen. It's a natural occurring thing.
Tanner, which one was more? This one or She-Hulk?
Fuck. Oh, don't even get me fucking started. Don't even get me fucking started on She-Hulk. Don't even get me started on that twerking ass bullshit Disney shit. I want to objectify women, but I could twerk my ass off because I'm a strong female. Holy shit, Disney fucking sucks.
Jesus Christ with you.
There you go, Greg. There's the first Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I went red there for a second. I mean, honestly though, do you see where I'm coming from, guys, with this bullshit? I mean, don't people have a right to be angry about this?
Before Tanner goes off, I just have a question.
Quietly,
and I asked this to a professor I had in college, and he couldn't give me a straight answer. He was talking about, the sea levels rising and all this stuff, and global warming, melting all the icebergs and everything. And I was like, I have a question. Is it possible, because I'm thinking like in a bathtub, right? If you fill a bathtub up with water and then you throw pennies into it, enough pennies, that water level is going to rise, right? And if you think that kind of way that I'm thinking, the size and more usage of the ocean as far as travel, as far as cargo ships and boats and all that nonsense, plus the amount of plane crashes, boat that crashes and whatever that are sitting at the bottom now, plus the amount of plastic and trash that we throw in the ocean, wouldn't you think it rises a little bit? Don't you think it has a little bit to do with it? You couldn't give me a straight answer. That's the only thing that I have on it. I don't think global warming's a myth until you can answer that question for me. And if you tell me no and show me the math that says like it just doesn't have this kind of impact, I'll believe you. But no one has ever answered that question for me. It's all you,
he's like, I don't know what to say here. Greg said it all, I think. I don't know what to say. Yeah, acid rain monkey business.
Greg went on an epic rant there.
I'm sorry. I can't take it. Al Gore. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I was reading what Greg was.
I was reading Greg's. Yeah, Al Gore was talking climate change years ago, and it was one of the coldest times in New York. And an idiot here on Long Island, New York. I guess. No, I agree. It's fucking asinine, Greg. Go ahead, Mickey. Whiskey. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
So my big rant about it, as my wife walks in the door, she's probably going to stab me for talking about it. My big rant about it is. It starts off with global warming, right? That's what they called it. It's CO2 emissions. It's creating the greenhouse gases and the greenhouse effect and melting the ice caps, and polar bears are freaking getting sunburnt and shit like that. Okay, whatever. Fine. There's no actual fucking proof for that. But
Wait,
okay.
is that true? The polar bear thing?
No, but
I was gonna say, I'm like, I was just questions.
But it was fucking funny. I'll tell you that. That was a good one.
Oh yeah, Tim and his Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's epic. I got it.
But so what pisses me off about it? So it starts out with global warming. So that's the huge push. It's like, oh, the world's getting hot, everything's warming up, blah 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 blah. Okay, fine. But then, like Greg was just saying, you have some of the coldest winters on record. Okay, well, how do you explain that? If the world is heating up, then why is that?
Bro, have you never seen The Day After Tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, it gets colder. Everything freezes.
It's about extreme weather in any scenario, supposedly, not just heat.
Yeah, but that's what pisses me off.
Extreme tornadoes, extreme hurricanes, extreme cold.
But that's what pisses me off because
I'm waiting for Tanner to get there.
That's now their new freaking thing. It's like, okay, you ask the question, like Tim just said about throwing pennies into a freaking bathtub. Okay, you ask the next question. Hey, global warming, everything's getting hotter, all the ice caps are melting, blah blah blah. Well, okay,
polar bears getting sunburned.
We just have 3 of the coldest winters on record in a row, and now their new answer is, well, it's
the summers are hotter.
Change.
Yeah, it's changing climate.
Not global warming. It's climate change.
It's climate change, and we have to do something about it.
Now everything. So now we have the coldest winters and the hottest summers and the craziest tornadoes. And it's like, dude, when I was a kid, like 30 years ago, hurricanes were worse back then than they are now. Tornadoes were worse back then than they are now.
Well, when they do the thing on the news where they show you, like, back in this day, it was on this day in 1921, it was 192 degrees. It's like, well, they didn't have fucking carbon emissions maybe as much as 100 years ago, and the temperature was still hotter. Yeah, you can kiss my ass because it's a little ridiculous.
I can't believe Tanner didn't go into HARP.
Oh, I'm not done yet.
Oh, he's not. My bad.
There's plenty to go off of there.
Yeah,
you can get into weather modification. You can get into climate change as a result of HARP and other government programs trying to create a freaking Cannoli Sasquatches. Chemtrails, that's another part of it, right? All these government programs for weather modification to create famine, to create freaking water shortages, to basically put the boot on top of the U.S. citizens and say, hey, look, we have this huge issue going on.
Or like with the 2004 tsunami that everyone thinks that the U.S. government did against Japan because Japan tried to defy U.S. sanctions. So they're like, fuck you, tsunami. Now we don't have to drop a bomb. You'll just have to deal with the radiation again.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. No kidding.
There's ways around the Geneva Convention. So
of course,
Geneva did convention over the things that I think of.
Yeah, I think what pisses me off the most about it is I get annoyed when humans think that they have such power over an entire freaking planet. Like Greg was touching on it a little bit ago, talking about cyclical, right? Like, how do we know that we're not just on a different axis in our, rotation around the freaking sun, and it's making it a little bit warmer or a little bit colder or a little bit crazier? Like, it's this idea, it's like, oh, well, we're humans and we freaking have so much pull and power that we're basically bringing down our freaking entire planet. It annoys the crap out of me.
Yeah, it's insane.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
What, you saw your penis?
Old Dominion beat Virginia Tech.
I was just gonna, I just saw that.
Oh my God. Dude,
I just saw that pass across on my thing. Jesus. Do you want to talk about
they scored a touchdown with 33 seconds left in the game.
That's a fun
highlight. My God.
It's going to be a fun highlight to watch later. Oh, global warming.
I'm sorry. Tanner had to know.
No, I'm glad you said it because
that was interesting. Yeah, I'm going to have to watch those highlights.
I thought Virginia Tech was back, bro.
Right? Yeah. Beamer ball.
So-called experts.
Wait. What conference does Virginia Tech play in?
The ACC.
I thought they had the best quarterbacks in the country.
Oh, from that stupid ball from your boy.
Talk about conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I wanted to say, I think somebody paid that guy off. Jesus. This has been an eventful night. Okay, now that I got my anger out and frustrations on global warming.
So angry.
Fucking bullshit. I got to pay more money because fucking some Karen's got to fucking have an electric car.
Did you see that picture that's gone viral of someone? They're changing the batteries of a Volt.
Yeah, I sent it to James.
28 grand.
Yeah, $28,000. Yeah.
Oh my
Now,
god.
whether that's true or not, I believe it because that's how much. Yeah. So you just so that when the batteries die, you're going to replace a car that you could have just bought a whole new car for. That hey.
Hey, where are you putting those batteries, by the way?
Yeah. Where are they going?
Yeah, where are they
the
going?
ocean.
Yeah.
ocean level, right? Just throw those pennies in,
Throw
bro.
the bitches in there. Just flood the coast.
Tell me from now on that you're not going to bring that up anytime someone brings up climate change.
Yep.
Oh, it's coming up immediately. The first
ocean
argument
level
on the
rising,
night.
dude. That's all the freaking
All right, here's one that I love. This is one of my good ones. This is one WhiskeyBanger brought up, and the MK Ultra.
Oh,
yeah.
Where the government has like a mind control kind of thing over the citizen. You could go into it because this is a good one, Baggage. Explain this one.
Yeah, so MK Ultra, this is another one of those was the conspiracy back in the day, and it actually turned out to be true. So the conspiracy was that the government was testing hallucinogenic
it was acid
drugs, basically LSD and other things, on the populace. And again, people couldn't prove it. You know, how are you going to prove it? Blah, blah, blah. You get some dude who's all freaking methed out. How are you going to believe what he says? Well, turns out MK Ultra was an actual thing. They would take people from marginalized groups, people who lived in the ghettos, people who were, heroin junkies and addicts and alcoholics, and they would take them. They would give them extreme doses of LSD, and they would do all kinds of tests on them. Anywhere from, like, you ever seen the movie Manchurian Candidate?
Sure.
Stuff like that.
Horrible
Like
Denzel movie.
Oh yeah, because Denzel's the worst actor ever, according to Tim.
He's no Jamie Foxx.
Oh my god. Yeah, MK Ultra is interesting. They use it on supposedly even celebrities now, right? Supposedly now that's one of the rumors.
That's some of the claims that are out there. I can't. Some of them are, a little more. There's a little more fact than others, but yeah,
you're supposedly yes, Jamie. There is some supposed correlation to that and some of the shootings. MK, they did horrific shit. Yeah, it's some pretty dark shit when you start researching MK Ultra. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it does. There's some tie-in supposedly to what a lot of these kids doing school shootings and CIA programs and all this shit. So MK Ultra is an interesting. What do you think about this one, Meatball?
I don't know. I mean, it's proven true, right? It's proven true that it happened. Do I think Manchurian Candidates are real? Not really. So, like, to tie it in the movie, I don't really think that's. I think it's easier to do what the CIA is doing now and just find someone that's sad and lonely and then go shoot up a school in Uvalde, right? Like, it's easier to do that route rather than to program someone and leave them, for a keyword or something like that. So I guess if you call what they're doing now a Manchurian Candidate, like a form of it, I would buy into it. MK Ultra, like if anyone who's like, well, I want to give more power to the government, research this, read this, just read this. They did this. It's not like they admit they did it. So like, just take it. So like, MK Ultra, I just think that it's what liberals need to read. If you give more power to the government, they do this behind your back and then admit it and then don't even apologize for it.
Mm. Yeah, there's definitely some research to do on MK Ultra. If you want to dig more into the MK Ultra, exactly what it is, what's done, supposedly where it's used, I'd say go down the rabbit hole. It's interesting. Even if you don't believe it, it's still a fun time.
Do you know how I believe? I believe they do shit like that. They did the Stanford experiments. Same thing.
Same thing. Yeah.
I bet you they're doing it right now, and they're going to call it collegiate research.
Yeah, just experiments. No big deal.
Oh yeah, they just did one. It's called the Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and whoever else made the other one.
Oh God. Pfizer?
Pfizer, that's the one. I can never get that one.
That one's getting you kicked off YouTube, Tim.
No, I'm sorry. It was fun while we lasted.
This is why we go to Rumble. Okay. I'm going to pull one off of WhiskeyBanger now. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. Filipino. I can't believe I just called WhiskeyBanger the Filipino meatball. I got you.
Well, I am as tall. I am as tall as Tanner is if he lays down.
That's about
what is
right.
Jamie saying? Lots of read all the prolific assassins, please. Monkey business. I agree with the knowledge.
I was going to say I agree with monkey business as far as
I
Tim
agree.
was saying that he doesn't believe that there's like correlation between MK.
That's why I said go down the rabbit hole, as I'm told.
Yeah, there's a lot of
don't use quotations, so I'm using quotations.
Jamie loves quotations.
She hates it so much.
Jamie loves quotations.
Quotation. Hey, listen. Fuck off. No, I'm just kidding. I like this one, and a lot of people know about this one. People who are in the conspiracy world know about this. This is one Meatball came up with, and I never thought about this, and then he brought it up. So everybody knows who Amelia. Explain who Amelia Earhart was, Meatball, and then I'll go into what your theory is.
She's a celebrity pilot, first female to try to circumnavigate the globe. She basically was a rock star back in the day, but she was a pilot. So everyone knows her as right during World War II.
World War II.
Yep.
Okay.
So
go ahead. Sorry, what's your theory? This is interesting.
So the theory, the story of Amelia Earhart is she is flying, trying to circumnavigate the globe, be the first solo female pilot to ever do so. Right.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
She goes into lands a plane while fuels up, takes off, never to be seen from ever again, right? They assumed she went down in the ocean, didn't make it. She was trying to get to a certain island. She never showed up. So the current working theory is that she crashed her plane on the way there because she got disoriented, landed running really low on fuel, crash landed onto some small islands, was captured by the people there. That they're not captured, but they helped her.
Wait, did you just use quotations?
Helped her.
Go ahead.
But the Japanese found out about it, found out that she was there, suspected her of spying, kept her as a POW, brought her back to mainland China. Mainland Japan. And then she stayed there through the duration of the war and died in captivity.
This is very interesting because the other theory was that she just her plane crashed into the ocean or some weird shit.
That's the accepted theory.
Ran out of gas.
She ran out of. She couldn't find the Marshall. It was the Marshall Islands she was going to. She couldn't find the Marshall Islands because of weather and navigation problems. Eventually ran out of gas, crashed into the ocean, and never to be seen from again. Again, penny into the ocean. Just throwing that out there. Tie it all back together.
You and your fucking pennies into the ocean.
But there's also a really subvert one that she crash landed on an island and then got eaten by those coconut crabs.
I like that one better. That's like a horror movie.
Specific.
Right? I'm like, wait a minute, why coconut crabs?
Yeah.
And because those are the 3-foot crabs.
Yeah,
they're
gigantic. Huge.
Yeah. And I'm like, then how would you know? If they're gonna eat her, how would you know?
Yeah, how would you know that they ate her?
But for the other one, the POW one, there are some pictures that were taken, and in the background of the pictures, it looks like her plane, right? Is there. And then on the end of a dock is someone sitting down with the back to the camera, and it looks almost like a woman figure similar to what Amelia Earhart would look like. From a long, long distance. This is with not great camera work, right?
Yeah,
And then apparently they did an expedition into the resources around Japan in that time frame, or after World War II, and they found what they thought where they kept her, right? And then there's AE on the wall. There's some certain things that matches the stuff that was in her plane when they were there. So like that's where they come with the theory that she was held in Japan as a POW because they thought she was a spy.
Spy. I kind of want to believe this one. I mean, I know that the popular theory, like you said, she crashed into the ocean or plane ran out. I think it's a little, again, with WhiskeyBanger, we're saying when the easiest explanation is usually the one they try to push, and I don't buy it. I kind of buy the POW thing because it would make sense for the time period, why she just vanished. Yeah, okay, her plane ran out. It's like if she's a pilot and she's just flying around the world, is she gonna go, oh shit, I only have a quarter of a tank left? Whoops.
Right.
I'm in the middle of the Pacific. Oh God, what do I do? It's like I just don't buy it.
And then like there's the unfounded, but there are some people that were at a different island that had heard distress calls from someone saying like, "Hey, this is blah blah blah," and they couldn't hear it because it was so patchy. But if it's right, that if that's true, she would be in the perfect spot to be put the plane down where those pictures were taken, where the Japanese came into the island and then left with an American plane. So like it would all make sense. There's a lot of like floating pieces that would have to fit together, but if they fit together, it works.
Makes sense. Yeah, I like your theory. I actually kind of believe it. The crab one would be awesome in a fucked up way. That would be fucking weird to get eaten by giant crabs, but I do kind of. I like your theory overall, the POW thing. It would make sense. It makes a lot of sense. Okay, that was a good one. That's one that I really never.
The wife just walked in and dropped off
pizza.
Oh, what do you got there?
I believe this is a.
Is it iced tea?
Powerade slush.
You know the last. I mean, I used to love those Sonic drinks, and then when I decided not to get diabetes, I stopped. But I do miss a good drink like that once in a while, like just once every blue. They have some good dessert ones too, I believe.
Bro,
their food sucks. But
I'll die on the hill that Sonic has some of the worst food on the planet.
It's terrible, but their drinks are great.
But their drinks are fantastic.
I will admit their drinks are great, but their food is like eating fucking shit out of a sewer. It's disgusting.
It's so bad.
What is it? Greg's saying apparently one of the theories is Amelia Earhart was on a spy mission for the United States.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, Diana. Thanks for joining, Diana. Sorry, go ahead.
And it is true. Greg is right. She did fly under the U.S. flag, and then she was on a quote unquote mission.
Right?
The theory was it was a goodwill mission, right? But she always used the word mission, and everyone was kind of iffy.
She crashed, and then they never found her body. I remember there were claims that they found her. You know what? This is the thing, Greg. Like, yeah, there's so many different theories. I do buy the POW thing though, because it wouldn't make sense. And of course, the U.S. government can just deny it, and hey, she crashed into the ocean because she ran out of gas as a pilot.
Yep.
Just like global warming is real. So, sorry.
Pennies into a bathtub.
Did you see Tanner's look? Did you see WhiskeyBanger's look there? He's like, oh shit, here he goes again. Here he goes again. All right, we're gonna get into some bigger ones now. We're gonna get into the good shit. There's plenty more we have from each list, but I'm gonna go into my big one that we talk about. This is one of the ones that how we got involved in World War II. Everybody knows what World War II was.
Just so before you start, if I had been there, I would have shot you a text and let you know I'm not one of the dirty commie Japs. And just let it go, guys. I would have told you. I would have told you.
Would you though? Would you? Okay, I'll believe you. Barely, but I believe you. You and your Sonic drinks over there.
Every single time I had a teacher mad at me in grade school, I'd just be like, "You're not over Pearl Harbor, are you?"
It's been how many years, people?
Oh, we'll never forget. Apparently so on my grade.
No, they forgot in the 80s when they were buying fucking Sony CDs and Toyota fucking Camrys and shit. Everybody forgot. That's okay. I really don't know. So basically, the thing is Pearl Harbor was allowed to happen. Listen, it's pretty goddamn obvious what happened here. Now, again, the U.S. did not want to get involved with the war. That was a big key factor. Franklin Roosevelt did not want to get involved, didn't want to push our country into the brink of war. He knew we were eventually probably going to do it and have to do it. So the theory is that Franklin Roosevelt provoked the Japanese attack on the U.S. naval base on December 7th, 1941, knew about it in advance, and covered up his failure to warn his fleet. Okay, I believe it. He apparently needed the attack to provoke Hitler into declaring war on the U.S. So kind of how WhiskeyBanger's, the one with Cuba. What was that one called again? The project...
Operation Northwoods.
Operation Northwoods. Very similar, right? So Hitler declares war against the U.S., and guess what? The whole country... First of all, the country was not doing well financially at that time. War's profit, right? Whiskey, you could attest to that, right? Wartime is
big
profit
war
time for
machine.
the United States. War machine. Of course, Congress and the American public were not in favor of going into the war. Nope. We're not doing it. It's not our war. It's not our war. Theorists believe that the U.S. was warned, and we just kind of let it happen. I believe it. I wholeheartedly believe it. They knew it was going to happen. The only way to get the public behind it, kind of like other events in the recent 21 years, to get a country to back you into going into a war, going into a region, is to have them attack the enemy, attack you on your home soil. You can say what you want about Hawaii not being the mainland. It's still an American it's in a country. It's one of our countries.
Is one of our countries?
It's one of our states. Jesus Christ. It's a state in the country. God.
Whiskey, come get your man. Jesus.
This is what happens. This is what happens when I got the global warming argument still in my fucking brain. So listen. So what do you guys think about that?
Should we have that Megan Stallion come over and talk to us about global warming?
Yeah, she could twerk with She-Hulk.
Twerk it out.
Men are pigs. Look at my ass. Fucking ridiculous.
Look at my big green booty shaking.
Look at my green booty. Aren't I hot? Men suck.
My wife is giving me the stink eye right now.
Hi, Cassie.
She says hi.
Yeah.
I can't believe you would. I can't believe
she giving me the death stare
wife.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Filipino?
I can't believe you would do that to your pregnant wife. Just
Do
piss
what?
her off for no reason.
He does that every day.
Oh, now that's I know what.
Now Cassie's in the chat now. Now we're gonna get the fire because Cassie's in the chat.
Yeah, now she's got a chagrin on her face and she's nodding like, yeah, Tim's
she's
right.
Like, yeah,
an ass. All right.
That's my man.
That's my man.
She-Hulk for life.
She-Hulk. I'm gonna twerk that booty.
that booty. So what do we think? Pearl Harbor. I believe it. So this is a pretty easy one for me.
I 100% believe it because if you go back through time, all the major wars, except maybe Korea, I can't really think of I'm sure there's something, but if you go through all the major wars, there's some pivotal event that happens that's questionable and it gets the U.S. involved. Sinking in the Lusitania in World War I got U.S. involved. Freaking, like we said, Operation Northwoods, that's what would have been the situation that got the U.S. involved in Cuba. Freaking, in my opinion, 9/11, that's what got us involved in the Middle East. We had no business being there.
No.
So I think it's 100% true. I mean, I've even read reports of listening stations in Australia that
what's going to get us? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Fuck are you? What are you trying to
I was going to ask him a question.
Say it.
What's your thought?
No, Tanner's being
nice. Australian listening stations.
Yeah, listening stations in Australia apparently heard transmissions from the Japanese. They intercepted transmissions about them and the attack a couple of days prior, and they didn't do anything. Or they did do something, and we didn't do anything about it.
Right.
We basically just let it happen.
I agree with that. I agree with that theory. I think it's not like they helped planned it. I think they just let it happen. They're like,
Right. You're just going to turn this way, and you go this way, and then
right.
And I mean that's my big thing. Not to get away from the Pearl Harbor, but like with 9/11, right? I'm not saying that President Bush freaking got into a plane and like remote controlled it and blew it in. I'm not saying that. what I'm saying is those
that would be
alphabet
amazing.
agencies definitely were keeping track of some of these terrorist organizations and followed exactly what they were doing and allowed it to freaking happen for us to get involved in the Middle East. Period.
Yeah, I agree.
That's my
I agree.
freaking.
I totally buy it. I believe it. I agree with you. The Pearl Harbor one, it's sad because the biggest argument I hear back from people is like, well, would the government really kill innocent people? Yeah. It serves a
Yes.
in their
Have you
in
never read a history book?
in their mind, if they think it serves a bigger purpose for mankind, yeah, of course, there's sacrifices that have to be made. So Pearl Harbor, unfortunately, yes, dragged us into the war. And explain this, everybody. And you're in finance guy, Meatball. What did that do for the country once the war was over financially?
Bro.
Best economy possibly ever in our
The
history.
There's a reason. There's a reason why they're called boomers.
Boomers.
Well, population boom too. I mean, just gonna throw that out there.
But
As well.
Listen,
just in
that's like
general,
a technical Asia boy. We know you're good at numbers and math, but no, it's true.
the
Like
economy was booming.
like a
the
10
freaking-
like a 10-team playoff. We're gonna talk. Never mind.
Dude,
Never mind. Go on.
that's another
make it work.
You're good at math. Make it work.
Listen here, Asian finance guy. Fucking make a 10-team playoff work now.
now. No, but it's
How
true.
many
Like,
buys are so many teams getting? So many teams are getting buys.
it's so stupid. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just the economy bustled. The fucking I don't know, the way they had people back home building tanks and weapons, and the economy just went nuts in a good way after that. So hey, look, we went to war, we came back, country was booming. It was supposed to be the best times, the best generation ever, right? Supposedly, right? Some of the best financial times we've ever had. Yeah. War means profit for the country. It's just the way it goes, and I do believe that we did allow it to happen. I'm sure it goes deeper than that, but that was one of the good. I got to get into this next one because I have no idea what this is. Whiskey Banger, you brought this up. Is this because you're an alcoholic? You brought this one up. Bad
Yes.
booze.
Yes.
Bad
Bootleggers.
booze. Talk to me about the bad booze conspiracy theory.
So as you guys can already tell, I'm a big proponent of
Whiskey.
obviously whiskey, but
Men.
I'm my conspiracy theories always have the ones that I brought up anyway.
Yeah.
The government doing shady things to the civilian populace. Okay, so bad booze is basically. So when prohibition was happening, there was a lot of people dying from alcohol poisoning. So the conspiracy theory was the government was poisoning its constituents. So kind of hard to prove, but basically it turned out to be true. The government actually was getting with industrial alcohol companies and having them add more poisons, more heavy metals, more whatever into their freaking alcohol. So these moonshiners that were making, drinkable alcohol, it was still too much and people were dying because of it. Because the government basically wanted people to stop drinking, right?
Sure.
Prohibition, you're not allowed to drink. Moonshiners, that's where Tim's boys, the freaking ATF, come knocking down your freaking door because you got a bathtub full of freaking gin.
They're just wannabe IRS agents.
Yeah, just want to be IRS. So I mean, it's. I heard about this one a long time ago, and it's not a very well known one. And I mean, it's not on the level of like 9/11 or something like that.
Right.
But it's just
Right.
It's another one of these. Like I said, my big thing is always letting people know that the government is not your friend. Okay, they're willing to do things to you, allow things to happen, like we just said with freaking Pearl Harbor and 9/11. These things happen, and there's ulterior motives. So, if the government can do big things like that, why wouldn't they do something small like this?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's just to push an agenda, and it's disgusting. And that's why I like bringing these up, because I like people to know that
the government can come out and fuck you.
Uncle Sam is not your friend, dude. Like, there's a term in the army. It's called the big green army dick, and it fucks you all the time.
Jesus.
Daddy.
I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking She-Hulk for a second.
Oh my god! Christ again with this.
Once she's done twerking, dude, she starts slinging.
Once she's done turking, she goes jerking.
Okay, so
I do
Tanner,
like this one. Yeah.
Are you done with your conspiracy theory?
Well, you have
Am I
to go
done?
to add to this?
Yeah. Are you done with your conspiracy? It's not a theory. It's true. It's 100% true.
Yeah, like
it's true.
it's not even a conspiracy. It's true. But yes,
But it's very interesting. Yeah.
So let me ask this question: do you know how the conspiracy theorists back then, Jamie, knew that the alcohol was being tainted?
How do they know?
Yeah, do you know how?
Tasting it?
No. That's do you?
I don't. I just know that
So-
people were dying, and they came up with a conspiracy.
This is my favorite part of this conspiracy theory.
Bring it on.
So bootleggers used to call their liquor White Lightning, right? And bootleggers were the start of NASCAR, right? They used to race each other to see how fast they can get away from the cops and things like that. Good White Lightning liquor actually ran the motors, and you could drive faster because it was a cleaner burning than regular gasoline. And they realized their cars weren't going as fast and gunking up their carburetors because the alcohol wasn't as clean as it was before. And that's how they discovered that they were being tampered with the materials because the cars weren't going as fast.
That's fucking outstanding. I didn't know
Wow,
that.
that's fucking amazing.
That's my favorite part. That's my favorite part of the whole thing.
That just blew my mind a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude,
You gave me a little. You gave
That
me a little
actually makes
Woody.
a lot
there.
more sense.
Does make sense, but I do
Tim
be
coming
by.
in clutch.
Look at this.
Look,
This guy's
all
mad.
I come with H.E.'s homes, pennies into a bathtub,
Yeah,
and why not in the car slowed down. That's all I got.
He's sucking down Sonic drinks and just bringing knowledge. This is amazing. I'm gonna go into
You know what it is? It's the banana chips, the pre-game banana
Let me
chips.
tell you something real quick. Have you ever had banana chips and dipped them in Nutella?
Yes.
I'm not a Nutella fan, but I will try that.
It's
I don't
sexy in
love
the mouth.
Nutella, but it's good when you dip something.
It's a
in
good
it.
combination, right? You don't because I know a lot of people don't like the hazelnut shit, but
Yeah.
even peanut butter. I dip it in peanut butter too.
Oh,
I used to dip it in peanut butter.
now I'm just thinking because I was a sucker for peanut butter, banana, and honey sandwich when I was a kid.
Oh,
Now we do a little bit of that.
You're welcome, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say thank you for making me fatter today.
That's okay. I'm an inner fatter kid myself. I'm just I'm gonna go into Filipino meat, one of these here, because I don't know. I didn't know what the hell this was. The Culper ring is still active. So explain to the see. That's the reaction I had with WhiskeyBanger. I had like, what the fuck is the Culper ring? Explain.
Wait, do you not
stroke?
Do you not know what the culper ring is, WhiskeyBanger?
I don't even know what the hell word you're saying.
Culper, C-U-L-P-E-R. Culper.
C-U-L-P-E-R. Culper ring.
I don't know. What
I know he was a quarterback for the Vikings, right?
Not Dante.
Culpepper.
We're not launching balls to Randy Moss. He's down there somewhere. Just chuck that thing.
You used to throw to Randy Moss. Touch that. Wait. That's the wrong. Anyway, explain to what the Culper ring is, because this was fascinating after I read it.
Okay. Culper ring was a secret spy organization during the colonial war, and it was reported directly to Washington. There are 4 known members with a possible 5th member that people debate about whether or not it's a real member or not. So the way that they would do this is these were average EU citizens, right? Behind enemy lines. They would get information from the brothels, from the bars, from wherever it was, bring it back, put it in code, and then pass it along the Culper line, which was basically the spies trading stuff with them to get it back to Washington to give him a head notice.
So a heads up. Okay.
Yeah. And so no one knew about it. There were like maybe 4 or 5 people outside of the Culper ring. Even their families didn't know. Like Washington knew, his right-hand man, the guy that organized it did.
Right.
Knew about it. And my favorite part of it is there's 4 hard people that were for sure in it, right? And then there's one that they call the number 5, and it's referred to as a she. And some people think that it was a maid for Major Andrade for the British government, for the British Army.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of proof that it was a mistress for Major Andrade. So basically, she was sleeping with the enemy to get the information. Without the Culper ring, we do not win the Revolutionary War. It is a fact.
Wow.
There is a big conspiracy that they are still around today, and it's just passed down from generation to generation, and they collect information and pass it directly to the president. Bypass absolutely everybody, and it's only for the president's eyes only. There's a great documentary done by one of my favorite authors, Brad Meltzer, called Decoded. Yeah. And one of them was that episode. It's on YouTube if you want to watch it. But
maybe I will now.
If you ever go down that rabbit hole, you will think everyone is a spy. Everyone can be a spy, and we are all being spied upon each other.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I actually do believe some of that. Go ahead, Sergeant.
Filipino, is this based off of, like, a while back you had suggested there was a TV show that was like something like this?
The world. It was the Revolutionary War show. It was on AMC, right?
So first came out the real thing called Decoded. It's a show by
Monkey Business instead of a good show. Yeah,
great show. I love that show. There's a show used to be on the AMC. It is currently on Netflix called Turn. And that was the dramatization of it, but you'll get it. So if you watch the show Turn, it is absolutely fantastic. Season 3 sucks because they have to wrap it up, and like
it only went 3 seasons.
It was supposed to only go 1 season, but it was so popular they pushed the second season. And the third season, it's all accurate. The whole thing's accurate, but like the third season was like forced because it was like they took one event and stretched it over the entire season.
So it was a little too long.
Yeah. Like the first season, it like gives you all the bases, how everything is set up. The second season was fantastic of how everything gets wrapped up and how the information gets. And they could have just left it after season 2.
Yeah.
But season 3 comes in and they do more drama into it, and they take one situation and stretch it over an entire season.
Yeah, I believe it. Actually, Turn was one of those shows because I love that time. It's probably my favorite time period in American history is the Revolutionary War. I love it. So that's the show I knew about. If it's only 3 seasons, how many episodes is it per season? Those are like, is it like one of those
6 or 7?
Oh, that's it.
No, yeah, it was not long at all. It was great show. So I'd highly recommend. You could, like, I would tell you, take a day and binge it.
I could easily do that.
And then you won't trust your government at all. Or your parents. You won't trust your parents at the end of it. You won't trust your best friend. You won't trust the girl that you grew up your entire life with, didn't marry, and then you had a secret affair with, and then... Nah, I digress.
Wow, that shit took a dark turn real quick.
I was gonna say it was like
the best miniseries I've ever seen. One of the best miniseries I've ever seen about that.
Band's a brother, and I'll leave. I'll die on that hill.
No, that's a great. Well, obviously, I'm talking about the start of the country was the one on HBO came out. John Adams.
Great. That was fantastic.
Literally couldn't fucking move because I was so fascinated. You want to talk about learning about the country and how it started? I don't want to hear about racism and they were slave. That's not what it's about. It's about how these geniuses came up with the idea to separate from England and how they did it, and amazing detail. Amazing.
Do you know I watched that because someone told me that I should. Right? They said it was amazing, and I'm same with you. I was stuck to the couch staring at it because it was amazing. And at the end of it, at the culmination of it, all I thought was, we could never have this nowadays because we have Megan Stallion freaking twerking, and people think that she's as an influence because of that. We can't have intelligent people have this kind of conversation and come up with this kind of idea.
It would never happen. No, there's too much division. This is not what they envision. What's happening? Not at all.
Yeah.
But they say power corrupts, and this is where we're at with people standing behind with red fucking lights behind them. Yeah.
Bro, that's so weird. It was so weird yesterday.
It was so fucking creeped me out. So I'm going to go into this one. Now, again, I'm going to preface this by saying you don't have to be a religious person to believe this. You don't have to believe in any specific thing. I always thought this was a fascinating conspiracy theory because it was based off a popular book, which people hated, and a popular movie that people hated. I'm only bringing it up because it's a worldwide thing. This is the Jesus conspiracy. And the whole Jesus conspiracy was based off the Da Vinci Code, right? Has anybody seen the movie? I don't know if everybody's seen the movie. I've seen it. There was a lot.
Again, another classic Tom Hanks movie.
I wouldn't say classic. It was a movie, but I wouldn't say it was classic. It was good. I liked it. So basically, it just seems to be the theory that Jesus married Mary Magdalene and had one or more children. Those children and their descendants emigrated to South France, and they were kind of intermarried with the noble families, and eventually would become the Merovingian dynasty. They held special claim to the throne of France, and it's still basically in France, and there's this whole Priory of Zion thing. So this goes into more of like a ethical thing.
Hi, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan. This goes into more of a ethical thing, right? You don't have to believe in Jesus. You don't have to believe in God. You don't. To me, still though, the people that I know that are atheists still find this fascinating because if you go through the back end of history, this changes a lot of things for the church, what people do believe, what people are taught in the Bible. What do you guys make of this? Is this some bullshit thing the guy wrote just to make a bunch of money off of a book? Because a lot of people do believe this, that he did not die on the cross, that he lived, they were married because they were very close in the Bible. And then you got to understand, if you do some research on this, there was a WhiskeyBanger and I have talked about this. They've taken a lot of gospel out from Mary Magdalene from the Bible, from Jesus himself from the Bible. What was missing in there that they didn't want people to know about? Because you give power to the church. And
Who's going to the Vatican archives with me?
Exactly.
We'll find out.
Here's the thing. If he was married, if he did have children, does it take anything away from what he represented to the world at that point? Some people do believe it. I don't think it does. But go ahead. Give me your argument. I want to know.
I think it does.
You think it takes away from what?
I think it takes away because, I mean, part of the major thing about Jesus was how do you prove that he is the Son of God if he is just a mortal man who had a wife and a bunch of kids?
But what if?
Like,
I get that argument.
Mystique there, like it's just.
What if he still was, but lived like a regular man? So regular men in that time period would be married, right? So the whole point of us being around is supposedly be married, populate the earth, teach our kids the right way. So why couldn't he do that?
I mean, he could do that.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
I'm not saying that it's a bad take or anything. It just
right. No, I'm just interested. I want to hear. I always like hearing.
The question that was posed was, does it take away from
like the whole deity? Extra,
And to be honest, I would say that it would.
Yeah,
because I feel like a lot of people are very. How do I say this? They take the Bible very literally,
cemented in their beliefs.
Yeah, so it's like what's in the Bible is verbatim, word for word, what happened. So,
right,
for someone to say that, hey, this guy actually was just a dude with a wife and a kid, like, how can you? I feel like a lot of people would have a problem with that.
Oh, of course, yeah. And you remember when the movie came out, people were protesting in front of the theaters, right? Like, this is a sacrilege. It's like, okay, yeah, I get it, because it does challenge your whole belief system, everything you were taught. And then if you do believe this, even if it was true, it just brings down the whole belief system, right? Everything is so. Wouldn't you make the argument that? No, it's not that I don't believe in Jesus, or you didn't believe in Jesus. You could still believe in him, but believe that he was still a deity, had these abilities, but lived like a normal man, because he was part man on earth, right? He was flesh, he was bone, he was blood, supposedly. My I don't know. It would behoove, a famous word from WhiskeyBanger. It would behoove the people in power, and we always talk about people in power. The church has a lot of power.
That's the most powerful organization in the world.
Exactly. Bigger than any government. So wouldn't it behoove them to keep the populace believing this, taking scripture away, taking gospel away that was written by the man himself, his wife supposedly, or whatever? Wouldn't that benefit them more for having control over the populace than not having it? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it's an argument.
I have a theory on this, and I'm not a very good poker player, so Taylor, you're gonna have to explain this to some people at some time during this. So, I think there was a Jesus Christ. I grew up Catholic. I went to Catholic school.
Me too.
So, like, I think there was a Jesus Christ. I think that he was a leader of men. I think he was no more nor less than a prophet, right? I don't think he might have died on the cross. I don't think he resurrected himself 3 days after. But hey, you do you, boo. Whatever, right?
You do you, boo.
But
okay.
This is it's
literally.
Yeah.
It's you guys touched on it earlier where you like there's so many Bible or so many gospels pulled out, so many gospels censored, right? It's what they want you to have, and then everyone's like, oh well, the Bible. I'm like, the Bible's based off the King James Bible, off a single person's interpretation of interpretations of interpretations of interpretations, right? Like it like stopped in the 1500s when King James came out with the King James Bible, right? Yeah. And now we put 100% faith into what he says is real, right? I think it's a little bit less that he was a deity, more so that he was mortal, right? Yeah. And that doesn't take anything away from the fact that he's a good human being, right? But it does take away from the fact that he's not this deity. But, and this is where I need you, Whiskey, the Catholic Church is so deep into the fact that he can do this and that and all those other miracle stuff like this. Like in poker, they're pot committed. They cannot back out now. They have everything in the middle.
Break
right?
the whole system.
Because if they come out and be like, okay, maybe he wasn't a deity, it all collapses. So at this point, there's nothing else other than to defend that lie till your dying breath, right? So that's my theory. I think recently, maybe in the last 100 years, 150 years, they have figured out that they were wrong. It wasn't what they thought it was, but what it would do would hurt more than to tell the truth. Yeah, right. Like the aftermath of telling the truth it hurts more than to keep the charade going and silence anyone who says no to it.
And I know you wanted WhiskeyBanger in the comments, so go ahead, buddy. He's like, how did we get into this? Fuck, thanks, Greg. Jesus, what the fuck did you do to me here?
If you've ever heard of the term or the saying, you can't get the toothpaste back in the tube. That's the situation that's going on right now. Is okay, let's say technology, science, they've come across some new findings, whatever. Who knows? If they do not hold on to that freaking, I won't even call it a lie. Let's just say that narrative.
Yeah, narrative.
If they don't hang on to that narrative, if they all of a sudden come out and say, well, you know what, actually, Jesus was actually just a dude. His name was freaking Jesus, and he, lived in a cave with Mary and his, however many kids. All of a sudden, you just took 1 billion people on the planet, turned them upside down, and freaking slapped them right in the ass as hard as they freaking could.
Oh, it changes everything.
It changes everything. Like, I'm not like a very religious person, but
evil bastard.
I blasphemer.
Blasphemer.
I do study a lot of religions, and
sure,
I feel like it would cause irreprehensible damage to the entire world.
Oh yeah, it changes.
If something like that actually came out as a
they
fact.
fought wars over this.
The Crusades were one of the worst times.
Right.
Exactly. So my whole argument would be though, is why couldn't he still do these great things while just being married and having kids? That's just my argument. I'm not saying that it's true.
I'm going to say it like this. I'll do it in comic book thing, right?
Okay.
Jesus Christ is Jesus Christ. Well, yeah, Jesus Christ is Captain America, right?
Yeah. Except
like he's superhuman, right? Like he's better than the average soldier. But you give me a soldier that does Medal of Honor type of stuff, he's still not Jesus Christ, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You have to have Captain America there. He could be. You could have the Medal of Honor guy, but he's not Captain America.
He's not Captain America. Okay, I see your point. I think it's just an interesting argument. I don't know why. It's always fascinated me. So, all right, we're gonna get into a big one here.
By the way, the second book is better than the first book. If you guys haven't read them,
What book?
Angels and Demons.
Yeah, Angels and Demons.
Yeah, it was definitely. Yeah. The movie's better too. Yeah,
I've never seen the second movie. I didn't like the first one.
It was okay. I mean, I thought the Da Vinci Code was okay. It was interesting.
Illuminati.
Merovingians.
You shall not pass. He was in that movie, actually. Fuck was his name? Ian McKellen, whatever.
You mean
fucking Gandalf. He doesn't know.
God, what was his role in the X-Men? God damn it.
Oh yeah, by the way, the wife he finished all the
the
wifey finished all the Jack Carr books now. So
what did you think? Give me a scale of the last one.
She said what I said. Not his best, but it was entertaining.
I need a scale of 1 to 10 from Jamie.
All right, wifey, I need a 1 to 10. What was in the blood? Don't spoil anything for Tanner. He hasn't read the last 2 books.
Dude, are you kidding me? Do I need to bring you the books?
I have In the Blood. He can have In the Blood.
I have the other one.
I'm way behind on my reading.
He doesn't have time to read. Look at him.
Way behind. Dude, the only time I read is when I'm on the can.
I could fix that. Pro X-Lax, bro, you be on the can for 2 hours.
Last one left me angry and hanging 7. She didn't like the way it ended because she feels bad.
But
we can't get into it.
Like the ending? I love the ending.
No.
I love those kind of.
She liked it, but it pissed her off about how it ended. No spoiler. We're not going to say anything. Tanner's like, "Fuck you, people." All right, we're going to go into a big one.
Reese accidentally kills Kate.
Shut up! The 4th one was my favorite. Yeah, that was a good one. All right, we're gonna go into a big one here. This is the big. We're going to the heavy hitters now. The JFK assassination.
Oh, I have an alternate theory on this one. Go ahead, Jay. I got.
So, I mean, this one. There's been books. There's been movies. There's been documentaries. There's been TV shows. There's been people have been Clintoned over this. I mean, this is a deep dive. We could talk probably of a whole show just on JFK.
Great movie.
So the whole theory behind JFK, we all know what happened to JFK. He was killed in Dallas.
Was it though?
It was in Dallas.
No, but yes. Was it JFK?
JFK Jr. No, JFK. Yeah, we don't
was it
JFK.
See, Ryan Greger, the Illuminati did it.
It wasn't a body double? Are you sure?
Oh my God. Can we talk about the conspiracy first before we get it? Okay, here we go. So we got the 35th president of the United States was shot on November 22nd, 1963. And of course, we had the lone gunman theory, Oswald, blah, 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 blah. So, of course, it went into a million investigations. There was Zapruder films. There was the movie by Oliver Stone, which was fantastic, by the way.
I said that.
Did you say that?
I did.
I don't listen to what the fuck you say.
That's a true story.
Okay, so here's the theory. There's the CIA theory. There was the mafia did it. There was Ryan Greger says the Illuminati did it. We've talked about this so many times. So where do we stand on this one?
I have a new theory on it.
Was it
recent theory?
Was it CIA? Was it mafia and government combined, or was it Lyndon Johnson?
Nope.
With the CIA and the government. And why? Why did this happen? There's a lot of theories about JFK was going to bring out about corruption in the government. There was also a lot of this weird talk about UFO shit that he was going to release. There was a lot of stuff. So let's go. Give me your theories, because this could go on for a while. JFK.
You want me to go first?
You go first.
All right.
Flip a coin.
So when we decided that we were going to do this, I reached out to a couple of my friends who also do conspiracy theories, right? But they're like way out there. They have tinfoil on their windows out there, right? And so I was talking to one of them about it, and he goes, "Have you heard the theory of the paramilitary?" And I was like, "No." So he explains it to me. So tying back into Whiskey Banger's other one,
I do agree, Ryan.
Bay of Pigs, right? Who
Bay of Pigs.
was doing the Bay of Pigs? It was paramilitary. It wasn't the U.S. forces that were doing it. It was paramilitary that were either slaughtered on the beach or captured and tortured.
Yeah.
The day of the Bay of Pigs invasion, JFK pulled out air support, basically left them there to die. And with the air support, should have been, successful, but left them hanging out to dry. So the theory states that that group of the paramilitary that had been working for the U.S. government for 15 years were so mad about it, they planned, coordinated, and did the Kennedy assassination, and then basically turned to the CIA and Lyndon Johnson and all of them, and basically told them, like, "You're next. If you do anything involved with this." Then they killed Jack Ruby, who was their connection, that was the one that told the different resources of it, right?
Yeah.
And cut it off from there. So it wasn't a government thing. It was a paramilitary thing, and scared the living Jesus out of Lyndon Johnson, the CIA, and the mobs. That's the theory I heard, and I absolutely
it was
love
a culmination of a bunch of different groups. Well, the whole theory about the mob getting JFK elected,
Yes.
especially in Chicago. We're using dead people's names because the father was in prohibition with the mafia, and they kept that relationship throughout. So he helped their mob supposedly help his political career, and he said, "Hey, help out my son become elected." So there's a lot of theory. And then when JFK went against some of the stuff they wanted to do in Cuba, because they wanted to go into Cuba, build casinos and a business, basically the mob got screwed by him, because JFK and his brother went hardcore after the mafia. Hardcore.
Yep.
So there was a lot of that they were involved with. So this is a lot here. What do you think, Whiskey Banger? I know you have some decent info on this, because that smirk says it all. So
before you start, I do love the mob one. That's what I had always thought of before I heard the
mafia had a lot of power back then. I mean, a lot of power. Not anymore, but they basically were like their own government. They controlled a lot. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, Whiskey.
Well, my opinion is first I'll say I think Tim's idea is actually pretty intriguing, because it actually ties into what my theory is, that it was the CIA that took him out. Because first off, when George Bush Sr. was asked where he was when JFK was assassinated, he said he didn't remember. And he was actually in Dallas the same day.
And explain to what was George Bush Sr. at that time?
So
what was his role in government?
So he was in the CIA. A couple of years after the assassination, he became the director of the CIA.
Oh, how ironic! How convenient!
So but I do like Tim's angle, though, because
I do too. It's good.
It's interesting because, one, it washes their hands off of any kind of wrongdoing. Because it's an easy answer to just say, well, it's the CIA that did it. I mean, okay. But like having a paramilitary organization that works for the CIA is a lot easier to cover up. I mean, think about like what happens today with like technology, right? If you do a Freedom of Information Act on, some kind of something with the government, as long as it's not top secret, technically they have to give it to you. But if it's some technology that's in the private sector, they can tell you to pound rocks, right? So how easy would it be for, say, I'm combining the two. This is, my brain is.
I love it.
The gerbil's spinning really fast right now. I
I'm
definitely think the CIA was involved. I love Tim's angle about the paramilitary organization, because that's such an easy way to wash your hands clean. of any kind of wrongdoing, right? Like, I mean, there was obviously, like you said, there was a lot of fallout with Cuban Missile Crisis, Bay of Pigs invasion. A lot of bad things happened. Now, some people talk about the mob. Some people talk about the Teamsters getting involved. And it's like, okay, some of those angles are interesting.
Castro himself.
Yeah, like some like Fidel freaking showed up with his freaking stogie and his freaking pipe and whatever. I mean, we could go down the rabbit hole hard as shit, but I mean,
it's ridiculous.
My hot take is definitely CIA is involved. There's a lot of shady business going on, a lot of
ill-gotten gains
between the presidential
the vice president.
Yeah, that's my hot take. CIA.
So the only reason why I bring the mob thing into it is because of the power they wielded at that time, and then it wouldn't surprise me if the CIA went to the mafia and said, "Hey, this guy, we got to get this guy out. You need to," because, like you said, there's the fallback, right? It looks, if the mob takes him out, it's bad, but it doesn't look as bad as the CIA being a culprit. No, I mean, it's the criminal organization, right? So it's like, oh, mafia kills people. This is what they do. So he fucked them over. So they want revenge. And we all just agree that Oswald was a patsy at this point. It's pretty obvious, right?
I don't even know if he pulled the trigger.
I think he was definitely a patsy, but I find it interesting because it ties into the MK Ultra stuff. A lot of people make the claims that after the shooting happened and he was detained and all this stuff, that he had this, or no, actually, I'm getting it wrong. The dude who killed Lee Harvey Oswald was the MK Ultra Manchurian candidate.
Right. Excuse me. Yep.
So I find it interesting because there's like a lot of avenues you can go down where it's like, it's crazy. I mean, it's a good one. Like you can go down a rabbit hole for days.
I got obsessed with this subject. I watched the movie JFK. I don't know how many times when I was a little younger.
Great movie.
Now again, it's just theory, and then everybody knows who was listening. The whole black and white. We talked about this. How Oliver Stone put the scenes he thought were possible conspiracy theories in black and white, and then the factual stuff was in color. I thought that was fascinating to learn. There's been shows, there's been miniseries, there's been books. I mean, literally, you could do a whole 3-hour show or more just on JFK. The Ruby stuff. I mean, there was a whole side story with him. It's just fascinating stuff. But I think this is one of the most obvious ones. You can talk about 9/11. You can talk about whatever else. This is definitely on every list that I looked up as far as conspiracy. It was always number 2, JFK, right? So
I will tell you this: it's a banned book now, which is kind of makes it cool. So they can't publish it anymore. You have to find an old one. It's called Through the Assassin's Eyes. It was written by a Russian assassin. And he basically said how he would have killed JFK and gotten away with it and who would have paid him. Like he plays the whole series out of it.
Yeah.
And the first half of the book is the political side. Like who would want him dead? Why, how much he would cost? How would you set it up? How would the meeting go? How would they have plausible deniability? And then the second half of the book is about like how he would do it. Right. And he came down to 2 shooters, one for relatively where Oswald supposedly was, one where the fence was, the grassy knoll, right?
Right.
And it all came down to 3 things. It came down to timing and signaling was his big thing. And so he brings in the babushka lady on it, right? The babushka lady is the signal for it's on, right? And then there's another one where there's another person that signals the timing effect on it, right? Because he pointed out, if you're sitting there going to take the fatal headshot from the grassy knoll, you can't shoot first. You also can't be for sure that you're going to hear the first shot or know that shot's going to go, right? So it basically came down to first shot hit. As soon as his hand went up, then there was another signal to tell the guy on the grassy knoll to take his shot. And so you see the timing of it. And if you read the book, it's absolutely fascinating. And at the end of it, I'm like, son of a bitch! It was the Russians.
The Russian bastards.
It was officially this guy who was not there.
Not even there, but he knew. He had a lot of information. Yeah. Yes, the book 11/22/63 was amazing. It's about, I think it's a book, Stephen King book about them trying to, like a fictional trying to stop the assassination, but it goes into a lot of historic detail. So that was good. It was a series on Hulu. I think that was terrible, but this is a fascinating one.
Is that a book?
It's a good book. The book is great.
Okay,
big book. Very long.
Go find that book. Jamie, the book is called Through the Assassin's Eyes.
Yeah,
I found 4 of them at Bookman's the last time I was there.
Yeah, I definitely would look into that. That sounds fascinating. This is a fascinating topic. So again, we can go on forever and ever, but yes, that's obviously a cover up there of some sort. 11/22/63 was 900 pages long. It's fucking crazy. Detailed book, but good.
Look that up.
It's not a bad book.
I'm gonna use it to sit on so I can be taller.
Well, you'll be able to because it's 900 pages. So it's a nice booster.
Throw that book in the ocean, bro. Raise that.
Yeah.
Raise that.
Throw some pennies into the book. No, throw some pennies into the book and then the book into the ocean.
See, now we're thinking.
Now we're getting it.
Thinking.
All right, we're gonna go on the last one here because we've been doing this a long time. It's been a long day. Okay, there's other ones. 9/11 is an obvious one, right? We're not going to go there because Jesus, we can. That's a documentary we can make off that.
We need to have our own podcast strictly on 9/11.
It's ridiculous. Everybody knows. Everybody's talked about it. To get into that would just take forever. So this one is, I think, my favorite one. I don't know if it's everybody's favorite. We're just going to go out there and say NASA faked the moon landings. Now, this is a deep dive, too. This can go on for an hour. So the idea is that Apollo moon landings were not what they all seemed to be at the time. They were faked, that the astronauts did not land on the moon, and we were deceived, basically. And that who was the director that supposedly directed it? Stanley Kubrick?
Yeah.
In a studio in New Mexico or something like that?
Ryan doesn't think it happened. He says we were there. We were on the moon.
Ryan says, oh, come on. Hey, these are theories. These are the theories, Ryan. So there's supposedly photos, telemetry tapes, transmissions, rock samples, blah, 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 blah. So basically, this was all planned to beat, was it China and Russia to the moon, to retain global dominance. I have seen some weird things with Buzz Aldrin online saying, we never went. Like, now, the guy's an old senile man. This was from a while ago, though. I think about 10 years ago. He was been numerous times where he's like, we never went. We never went. Was he having senile moments? I don't know. Was he having Biden moments? I don't know. A lot of rebuttal to this. I wanted 9/11 theories. Well, listen, you don't always get what you want. It's its own
show. It's
people want the 9/11 theory. You know what? 9/11 theories are fascinating. So we'll see where we go with the moon landing stuff and who has the energy to talk about 9/11. We can get into 9/11 stuff. It's up to them if you want to talk about it. I wanted to get into this one, though, because WhiskeyBanger has a good theory about this. I know Meatball has some interesting stuff. So what do you think? Was it faked? Was this all bullshit just to keep power? Talk to me.
It's all bullshit.
That's it? That's all you got?
Yeah, I mean, that's just really all there is, right?
See,
Ryan doesn't believe we went to the moon.
See, and you know what? I take back everything I said in my mind about this Ryan guy. Because I was getting mad. I was like, how dare you believe that we went to the freaking moon?
Besides him being a Cowboy fan, he's okay.
Is he a Cowboy fan?
Yeah, we went to high school together, me and him.
Like, are we talking like Dallas Cowboys or like
Dallas Cowboys? Yes. He's
State.
A Knicks fan and a Cowboy. He's a Cubs fan, a Knicks fan, and a Cowboys fan.
Get the
That's
what?
Very, very diverse.
That's a buffet of just oddness. But listen, he's a good dude.
He could be a Cub fan because of WGN and everybody watched the Cubs growing up.
Back in that, I agree.
Cowboys fan because he was American team. I could buy into that. And you said what else fan?
Knicks. He's a Knicks fan.
What the fuck were they ever good?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the wrong dude. That's Ryan Levine. I am an idiot. So never mind. I'm thinking of the wrong Ryan. See, listen, this is what happens when you let me sit here after working all day and I'm retarded. Excuse me, Ryan. I'm sorry about that.
Ryan, who are your teams? Put those in the chat. And then, are you a firefighter?
I'm an idiot. I think he is actually. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the wrong Ryans. Jesus. Yes, he is. I think he is. Yes. This is somebody Jamie went to high school with.
So the better version of what you could have been. All right.
Oh, 120%. My bad, Ryan. Listen, I'm not even drinking tonight. This is fucked up. So, I get my Ryans confused.
Jesus. Put the bubbly down.
Dang, she even confirmed it. He's better than you.
I don't blame him. Yeah, he's a firefighter. I can never do that. I just get people serve legal papers.
I had a good joke if he's a firefighter.
Well, I mean, he's still a firefighter, so he must be good.
We don't know if he didn't confirm or deny if he's a firefighter.
He just said yes,
firefighter.
He said yes, it's firefighter.
Yes,
that's
FF,
the
bro,
FF.
come on.
Oh.
Yeah, he wishes he was drinking too.
Does that mean that,
Fast and Furious?
that's what I thought it was?
Oh yeah, we go 1 mile at a time. You fucking.
I have a question. How much training does it take to get a cat out of a tree? I'm curious.
Jesus Christ.
One thing you'll learn, Ryan, is you could do something amazing, like be a cop with Tanner, and I'll just be like, how many black people did you shoot today? Be a firefighter. Ask how many cats you pull out of a tree. You could be a Navy SEAL like Tanner's former boss. Be a Navy SEAL. I'll be like, how long did they take to teach you to bounce that ball on your nose?
That's good. I mean, he's taller than you, so he already has your beat.
Bro, do you know how easy that is?
Ask your daughter.
She's about to be.
There are never cat skeletons in a tree.
That's a fact, actually.
That is true.
That's a great line. Oh my god, that's fantastic.
That's a good one.
So here, my take on the moon landing. My theme through everything: follow the money. Is it cheaper to send them to the moon, or is it cheaper to do it in the studio? And then if you really want to mess with it, WhiskeyBanger, bring your MK Ultra into it. Did they drug them up, make them think that they were on the moon? So like, oh, plausible deniability. They thought they were on the moon the whole time while they're just riding the kiddie show in the back thing at Area 51. I think it is financially irresponsible to think they went to the moon. It is nonsense. Whether the body could handle it or solar flares or whatever, that stuff, that's a different story that I'm not a scientist of. But
I agree, Ryan.
The amount of money, no way. 0% chance. 0%.
Well, plus the whole thing with the radiation belt, and it would have been impossible to get there. What do you think, Whiskey? I mean, it's all. Whiskey said it flat out. It's all bullshit.
Well, did he say money laundering? Is NASA basically mattress firm?
They are, yeah.
How many NASA stations do you have within the vicinity of where you live? I agree with. I think NASA's. They show these pictures all the time, and listen, I'm not saying that there's not stuff out there. Of course, right? That'd be a little naive, but they're always showing these perfect pictures of Pluto and like Saturn, but yet we can't get a fucking gas station to show clear images of somebody stealing a bag of Doritos in our own country. We get I can see Pluto rings around Saturn.
We have a single picture of the plane that hit the Pentagon. One.
Thank you.
But we went to the moon.
Well, I wouldn't say that's a picture.
The
Yeah, no, it's. It
was a drawing. My daughter colored it in.
It's a lot of hogwash.
Dude, there's so many freaking avenues that you could go down with the moon landing that would make it be just absolute fucking either complete bullshit or money laundering, or it's actually a complete NASA is a complete front for, and it actually is a freaking Nazi organization, and they're trying to create a freaking new world order. I mean, you could go down so many freaking avenues. Like, think about the history of NASA, right?
Yeah.
Who, after World War II, the US and Russia both freaking snatched up a bunch of freaking V2 rocket scientists from Nazi Germany, aka Operation Paperclip. True story.
Greatest
Nazi freaking
operation ever.
This is so true. This is so true. Yes, I agree. It does mysteriously look like human does look like every fucking. Anyway, go ahead, Whiskey. You're onto a good point here.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to like dive into the deep rabbit hole of like ulterior motives and stuff, you get U.S. government snatches up a bunch of freaking Nazi jet propulsion freaking scientists, bring them to the U.S., and during a time when every country's swinging their big dick around trying to see who the world freaking power is, the two biggest countries that are doing it are the U.S. and Russia. Coincidentally, the same two freaking countries that snatched up a bunch of fucking Nazi scientists and created the jet propulsion freaking lab in NASA. Like, why? What the hell's going on there? So there's some, super rabbit hole conspiracies about NASA's actually a front for it's a Nazi-run freaking organization.
Right.
Again, like I said, that's deep rabbit hole stuff. But then you get into things like look what's happening right now. NASA just announced that they're going to be sending a freaking unmanned freaking rocket to the moon. Okay, cool.
I saw that.
But didn't we do that like 50 years ago?
Yeah, why do we have to go back there?
So one, why are we going back? Two, why aren't there people?
Yeah.
Three, how come no other country has been to freaking the moon? Right? Like, there's just too many. You're telling me that in a time when fuel injection engines didn't even exist, like we still had carburetors.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, our fucking cell phones were more powerful than anything they could have designed back then.
Right. Like
now,
the entire mission control could be outclassed by this. So
that's here's the so was Apollo 13? Did NASA cause the incident so they couldn't get to the moon, or was that just all bullshit?
Bullshit. It was bullshit because they couldn't get there.
Was there a malfunction that was just one of those things, or did?
Hold on, you think they got to the moon and back to say no damage,
Russia
everyone's good, and then Apollo mission just blows up and just horrible. Same thing with the Challengers thing. Like,
good movie though.
You think that those things would go so perfect for it, but then everything else, every other attempt to do stuff just blows up in people's faces. No, I'm not buying it. Not buying it.
Yeah.
So to answer Jamie's question, the Russians were the first to get into space, and then they were the first
burned up a monkey in the process.
They landed a probe on the moon.
Allegedly. So is there alien?
Allegedly.
Is there a secret alien Nazi or fucking thing buried underneath the moon? That's supposedly
Have you not seen Transformers? Yes, it's the dark side of the moon.
And friggin' Cannoli, that's exactly where I was going with the whole NASA is a bunch of Nazi freaking. It's their whole point was U.S. wanted to have freaking these jet propulsion scientists, right? But the actual ulterior motive is, hey, Nazi party is still strong and kicking. It's just not called the Nazi party anymore. So now, hey, we're sending.
It's an extension of the. It's an extension of the U.S. government now, without saying that they're Nazis. Quotations.
Yes. That's the main conspiracy theory behind Operation Paperclip is that
what is water droplets in space? Shaver bales.
Daddy?
Shaver. I don't know what that means. So what's the theory with water? Now I see. Interesting. So I'm gonna have to do some research on that. Yeah, it's all bullshit. I agree.
It is.
I don't know, man.
And I agree with freaking Filipino about the money. Like,
follow the money. It's his it's his new line.
You're in this freaking pissing contest with Russia, right? They just sent a freaking cosmonaut up to the freaking orbit. Look at Russia. All of a sudden, it's this huge international power. We can't let that fucking happen. No. Bam. We're going to do one better. We choose to go to the moon and do these things and blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool, JFK.
That was a good JFK.
I understand that. I get the optics of it, right? You're trying to assert dominance. Do you feel in charge?
Do you feel in charge?
There it is.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Freaking Bane coming out.
JFK was Bane, basically.
They're freaking asserting their dominance internationally.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Russia sent a cosmonaut to the freaking orbit. Awesome. We're going to do one better. We're sending guys to the fucking moon. Cool. Spend a freaking boatload of money to make all this freaking equipment and whatnot. Now, do I believe that we've been in space before? I would say yes. But this idea that you're going to go hundreds of thousands of miles away to the moon when there's like freaking Cannoli touched on the Van Allen radiation belt, like how would you even know what the effects would have been on humans? I mean, the chimps, the dogs that you send to space. I mean, is that even a thing?
Yeah. They got boiled.
They got boiled.
Yeah, like, it's crazy, dude. Like, it drives me nuts. Like, and then there's even stuff like, for example, I heard this story a while ago, but it actually it just confirmed my conspiracy theory with the whole thing. The Dutch government was given a moon rock as like a token of, freaking international
the Netherlands.
well-being. Yeah. So like the U.S. is going out and being all diplomatic and like, hey, here you go. Here's a moon rock, blah, blah, blah. So they did freaking tests on the moon rock and it was actually petrified wood. So
wow.
Now, sure, this could be several different things.
That's
did they give
scary.
them just a fake rock and just say, hey, yeah, it's a moon rock? Maybe.
Sure.
But it's like, that's very,
plausible.
very suspect.
Suspicious,
and I don't like that.
yeah.
Very suspicious.
Wow, I never knew that. Wow.
That's a good one.
So there's a lot of like shady. It's just like, and I mean, okay, so like another thing that always bothered me is when you see the interview of the astronauts when they come back. They're all sitting at that little panel. They're answering questions. Motherfucker, you just walked on the goddamn moon. And these dudes are like, yes, the moon was great.
It was very robotic.
Yeah. Like,
well, Ryan brought it up before.
They're coming out of their drugs. They're coming out of the MK Ultra
The
drugs.
fucking MK Ultra, dude. There you go. Ryan brought it up before that there was an interview with Buzz Aldrin, and he would not admit that they went to the moon. Like he just kept looking away and very nervous and denying it. I remember that interview, and there was other interviews. There was another one with a kid. Yeah, he's a fucking. He's insane.
I thought I saw one where some dude came up to him with like a Bible and was like,
yeah, something like that. You never went to the moon, and pop,
you
old
landed
man
on
punch.
the moon. He freaking sucker punched him right in the
There was
face.
an interview with a child that he did, and the child asked him about what it was like, and he's basically like, "Well, we never went, so that's one thing." And then you see the parents and the kid are like, "What do I do here?" And it's like, so it's that subconscious thing where it's like he's telling the truth, but he doesn't realize it. Very suspect. That was a good one. Listen, I know people are disappointed about the 9/11 stuff. Listen, 9/11
It gets its own show. That one
literally
go
gets
for
its
2.5 hours on that one topic.
The 9/11 conspiracy is literally a 2.5 hour show on its own. There's so many things. Listen, we can all vote here. Do we all believe it was known, kind of like it was Pearl Harbor? It was the same as Pearl Harbor. People knew about it. People knew it was going to happen. They had to let it happen. Had to go to the Middle East. Unfortunately,
not a false. It was so. I'll say it's not a false flag. It was terrorism.
Yeah, there was no delay in conversation on the moon either, where there's supposed to be a delay. You're right, because of the distance. Ryan's right.
There's hundreds of thousands of miles.
Hundreds of thousands of miles. And then there was the whole Kubrick thing with The Shining and Room 237, and how you ever noticed the kid was wearing the Apollo shirt, and Room 237 was supposedly shit about the moon landing, and there's so many. Yeah, good documentary actually. It's on Netflix, I believe. Room 237. Yeah. Anyway, it's very good. So the 9/11 stuff is listen. There's a lot of weird shit. Wasn't George Bush's brother like involved with the head of security for the World Trade Center? There's the whole guy who owned the World Trade Center, got $99 billion in insurance that he took out 2 weeks before it happened. World Trade Center number 7 was CIA, New York Police, FBI headquarters, and it just mysteriously burned to the ground. And
my favorite one is like, oh, there was an accounting error. We can't account for the billions and billions of dollars. Don't worry, we'll just knock the buildings down tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's the whole idea, Diana. It's not to say like for sure it didn't happen. It's just to kind of put the question out there. And people, I don't trust anything. The older I get, the less I trust of the government, what we've been told. And I think if you read between the lines, you know the answer, right? Let's do a little research on your own. You can believe what you want. I'm not knocking people for believing what they believe in these things. It's just that, like Tanner says, WhiskeyBanger says, usually the best truth is not the actual truth. It's just it's convenient. I don't know, man. I don't trust NASA. Who knows? They probably got aliens locked in the basement like in Independence Day. They're probing their balls, and we don't know what the hell's going on. Area 51's a whole nother one with the aliens.
That's called Pizzagate, my friend.
Oh, that's a whole different. Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic.
That's a whole nother story. And then there's the whole Area 51. There's so many things. Yes, Area 51's a big one we didn't get into. I think it's pretty much all out there. Hey, Mike D. Everybody, I like how all these people are joining now at the end. I love you, Mike D. Thanks for coming through. Thanks, Diana, for coming back. Yeah, I mean, the thing with these shows is that we get into topics, we talk a lot, and it's a long day for everybody. We all work full-time jobs, so to go into another 2 hour of 9/11 stuff, I would listen. We could do it, but we might not wake up the next morning. Tanner WhiskeyBanger would just drink himself to sleep, and you got here homeboy over here with banana chips and fucking Sonic drinks. Like I said, the people I love to follow talk about everything. Thanks, Ryan, for coming by, man. Don't forget to subscribe. Anyway, I forgot to mention that again. Subscribe, like the video, share the videos, because without that, I got up to 40 subscribers now. I actually got 5 subscribers this week. So, I figure at this pace, when I'm 75, I'll have 1,000.
What's up, PewDiePie?
PewDiePie. Yeah, I wish.
At some point, you need to get a Patreon.
Thanks, buddy. Well, I got to get subscribers first. Like, here's my point. I want to get monetized.
Down the road, bro.
No, I want to get monetized on YouTube. Then I want to branch out to all these other platforms because you have to. Then there's merch. I have Abomination AJ who's going to do some possible. Here's the thing I love about Abomination AJ. He's going to do this thing for me, maybe. I'm going to pay him, and then it's mine. I own it. So I can do whatever I want with it at that point. I changed the symbol on the show. I put a meatball with Asian eyes across your face. Meatball, and then there's my symbol for you. And then for Tanner, we'll discuss
that, but it looks normal that way.
Yeah, I don't see difference.
Oh, down.
I like the chicken. The people. Okay. Anyway, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. So anyway, I guess I think that's
Did Greg leave? Did Greg leave?
I'm right here.
No, the other Greg in the
chat.
chat.
Ryan left. Yeah, he's done.
No, Greg. 2G Greg.
Jesus Christ, double D-O-G. Yeah, he left.
Double G Greg.
He's back east in New York. It's fucking like 1 o'clock in the morning there.
You're gonna have to tell him my ice lady story.
Don't worry about it, Mike. I forgot it was Friday too for half the day. So I appreciate you chiming in. Like I said, everybody like the video, because if you like the more videos I do, the more the algorithm picks it up on YouTube. So again, like the videos I do, share the videos, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Because a lot of people don't know that if you hit the notification bell, you get notified every time I put something up, and especially with the podcast. I'm on Rumble. Go to Rumble. Just search Cannoli Sasquatch on Rumble, and my videos will get posted. I don't do live there yet. I'm here. I was joking, people. I'm here. I was joking. Okay, Ryan. I'm sorry. I got the joke now, but I'm a little slow. Anything else? Anybody's got a brand talk about? Want to say? Are we advertising anything for anyone? Tim, you're finally getting your sex change operation, I hear.
We need to have a gender reveal,
Daddy.
Insurance
gender reveal. So I guess I will see both of you fuckers on Sunday.
Hey,
is that the rumor?
I have a story.
Oh, the Ice Nazi.
I have an Ice Nazi update.
I want to hear this, then we can go.
Yeah, okay. I hear this.
So Thursdays, that's the day I go into the office. That also happens to be the day that I play softball. And because of weather 2 weeks ago, we had double headers. So we had 4 games on Thursday, and it was hot. It was like 110,
110
probably like 125, 130 on the field. So me preparing for this, I was gonna drink water and cut Gatorade with it, right? So watered down Gatorades and stuff like that. I decided that I was not gonna order juices because of the amount of sugar in it.
Tim likes
So
those juices.
When I ordered my lunch from work, I ordered a grilled chicken sandwich, right? Side of fries, and then I ordered 3 cups of ice.
Oh God, here we go.
And when I went to go pick it up, I grabbed a Powerade out of the fridge and a water, like a smart water out of the fridge, right? Go up there, and so the ice Nazi lady goes, why 3 cups? You only have 2 drinks.
Oh God, here we go.
Fair question. You know what? Fair question at this point for her, right?
Don't question me, woman.
And then I go, well, right over there, they sell the pickles in the bags. You know those ones? Yeah. So I grabbed 2 of those, and she's like, what are you doing with that? I'm like, oh, I'm going to cut the pickles up and put it on my chicken sandwich, / probably eat the other pickle. And I'm going to take the pickle juice and pour it over ice and drink pickle juice, because I used to do that all the time.
Sick
where
bastard.
we used to work to help with cramping because I'm playing 4 games in stupid heat. She spent probably 5 minutes going, no one drinks pickle juice. And I'm like, well, I'm going to drink pickle juice. So she goes, here's your 2 cups of ice. And I'm like, no. I need a 3rd cup of ice for my pickle juice. And she goes, nobody drinks pickle juice. Here's your 2 cups of ice. I legitimately had to have the grill guy come down, get a cup to fill up with ice to give to me because she didn't think that people drink pickle juice. 1, 2, who cares? Give me a 3rd cup of ice.
Yeah, it's just ice, right?
It.
Well, don't you understand that Arizona's in a water shortage?
Right. I'm literally standing there with a tray, this beautiful, extra crispy French fries with the grilled chicken that I'm about to cut up the freaking pickles to put on it, and I'm being told no one drinks. Oh, you know what I did? Legitimately poured it right into the water, or poured it right into the ice, took a straw, jabbed it in there, and drank it right in front of her.
Only you would take ice and turn it into this fucking phenomenon where you got to fight with a woman in the cafeteria at your work about ice. Now, it is ice, so it is kind of stupid, but I love it. The ice, I got to make an intro just for your ice rants. I'm going to call it the Ice Nazi rant, and I'm going to create a music for this. This is my goal this weekend. I'm going to do this, so every time you bring it up, I'm going to have an intro come pop on. It's Tim's Ice Rant. You know, one of those fucking things. But
I don't understand. It's beautiful that I have an app on my phone that can order all the foods because I'm really busy at work. So I run down, grab my stuff, and eat at my desk as I'm working. Right?
Sure.
I spent 5 minutes arguing with this person over a cup of ice because she doesn't like pickle juice and she thinks pickles are disgusting. I don't care. 490 credit score. Give me my ice.
It's because maybe she needs a pickle of her own. Oh,
Jesus!
Pickle juice.
Oh, Diana. By the way, Diana, I think Diana loves your pickle stories. If you know what I mean.
I can't. I don't understand. Do you know what I'm going to do in the middle of December and January, the coldest time? I'm going to order hot chocolate and a cup of ice just so I can pour over ice.
Look at this, bitch. She's probably a She-Hulk fan. I bet she watches She-Hulk. By the way,
she looks like she would. She looks like she's on Snap, has a 480 credit score, blames the banks for the fact that she has a 19% interest rate on her car.
You're discriminating against credit score people.
I discriminate hard. I will look at you if you want to get in an argument and someone will call me fat. I'm gonna be like, okay, 430 credit score.
Give me my eyes, bitch. Jeez. Stop watching She-Hulk and twerking.
I can't. I just couldn't get it. Because she doesn't think that I was going to drink pickle juice. She didn't want to give me ice.
Pickles are great, but Diana says I'm not supposed to be smiling. What does that mean?
I don't know. She wants to play with my
All
pickle.
that pickle talk.
She's. We've only just begun.
White laces.
You're gonna have to get on Truth Social
love to-
and tell Greg to come in for my pickle ice update.
You know what? The poor guy was waiting for the story, and we let it go 3 hours later, and he's not here. All right, so I am going to torture myself this weekend possibly, and I'm gonna watch. Oh my god, I don't want to do this, but I think for content on my show Monday, I'm gonna do a show in the afternoon on Monday because I have the day off. So no more
Nice.
at 7 p.m. I'm gonna do a middle of the day one. WhiskeyBanger, I need your help. I'm gonna need your support with this, guys. I'm gonna torture myself and maybe watch the Lord of the Rings show just so I have content for my show.
Yes.
I have heard nothing but horror stories about this bullshit, but I'm going to do it. I'm gonna watch the House of Dragon show, catch up because I heard that's okay, and I'm gonna watch Lord of the Rings, and I am going to fucking destroy this show on my Monday stream.
No, it's not like he has a filter.
No, I don't filter with that bullshit. It's bad. He's been what is it? He's been waiting since yesterday for that. I know I feel bad for Greg, but you know what? Here's the beautiful part about YouTube: replays. So if Diana, if you could tell Greg to go to the 2:35 mark in this video, 2 hours and 35 minutes, I might do a clip of just Tim's ice rants from now on. Filipino Meatball and his ice rants.
To the top.
I'm gonna
Just fill the cup with ice. It's your whole job.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a thumbnail of him with a pickle in his mouth and then just juice dripping down from it. That's my idea. Listen, we got to go. I love you all. Thank you for all the new subscribers. Got up to 40 subscribers this week, which we were 35, I think, at the beginning of the week. We're getting there. Again, like, subscribe, share, go to Rumble. I am on Twitter, unfortunately, but it's how I grow the show.
Are we doing something on Sunday?
Well, we're going to be live
Like a short?
on Sunday. We're going to do shorts. I actually might live stream some of the event. I don't want to listen. I don't want to dox people. I don't want to put people's families on there without their permission. If we can just get us three at some point. I know Tanner's like, what the fuck are you talking about? We're going to get the three of us definitely. And I'm going to live stream some shit. Whoever wants to watch. We're going to be outside in the 190-degree weather for Tim's daughter's birthday party.
Of course, every time Tim's daughter's birthday, it's hot as
Worst.
shit.
I tell her every time. I'm
Why?
like, why do you pick the worst time to be born?
It's not even that. We know September's hot, but every time you do the party, it's literally the hottest week ever in the history of Arizona on Labor Day weekend.
I thought last year would have been good because we got like that bounty pool thing.
It was hot.
And
I mean,
it was
don't
still
get me
freaking hot.
It's always hot. Be like Tanner's kids. Be born in the middle of the winter.
For real.
Yeah.
Keep a bag of ice nearby. We'll be in our bikinis.
Definitely
Jamie
for
said.
sure.
Oh, hello.
So I didn't know if you guys knew this or not, but you could tell QT ahead of time, and you can buy ice ahead of time. I bought 12 bags of ice from QT.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, I didn't know you had it. I thought you just go up and buy ice.
No, but you buy QT ice.
Like this special QT ice.
You get that special QT ice.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Now I know Tim lives in Verado.
What the?
Well, no.
You
At least we don't have. At least we don't have to drive 78 miles. It's only like 68 miles this time.
It's like 10 miles closer.
It's still far, but it'll be fun. It'll be good to hang out with the guys. We will do a stream if my phone doesn't explode from the heat. I'm okay with doing a little bit of a live stream. I don't know if you guys are that day. Not a lot, but a little bit. Out in the public, out in the hot Arizona sun. We might die, but it'll be worth it. It'll be fun. I will be back on Monday for my live stream. I'm probably going to do a 1 p.m. stream on Monday. So again, if you're listening, I'll put the promotions out there. I'm going to rip the shit out of Lord of the Rings. I don't want to watch this show, but it's going to make great content and hopefully get me more viewership. And WhiskeyBanger likes when I go fucking nuts on this stuff. So it's going to be epic. I am not watching She-Hulk because I'd rather kill myself. But
I'll watch She-Hulk.
You watch She-Hulk, I'll watch Lord of the Rings, and then we'll converse back. Anybody who wants to join me Monday, let me know. I will be back here. Whiskey and Cannoli's podcast, episode 9 was great. We'll be back next Friday with a new topic. And
Damn, this was number 9?
number 9 already.
Damn.
We've made it to number 9. Number 10.
That means double digits next week.
We got to do special thing next week. I have no idea what topics to come up with, but then they just kind of magically appear. You guys give me some ideas for the next
How do
week.
we not have an NFL preview?
Because the NFL.
NFL sucks.
Semantics.
I get what you're saying.
Schematics.
I might have aneurysms after watching the show this weekend, so you guys might have to be the host for a while, if you're okay with that.
Steve Landau hosts Crowder from time to time.
I love David Landau. I love Crowder.
So funny.
So funny. All right, I'm gonna let these guys go. Thank you guys again. Always a pleasure talking to you, my fellas. I will see you Sunday again. Like, subscribe, share. We'll talk to you next week, and I will see you Monday.